Okay, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 454. The open world is dead. Sorry. And this is from Extra Punctuation. In case you don't know, we did another video of Extra Punctuation. Was it last week or so? And
about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks? I can't. It's just January. So it feels like a long time ago. January,
like
a year, right?
Like a year. Yeah. But it must have been a few weeks.
We did it 18 months ago, like at the start of this year.
Okay. Well, this is from The Escapist, or Yahtzee, as he's very well known for his critical reviews of individual games. Not so well known for his Extra Punctuation videos, which we're now covering. And obviously we know why, because they're not very good. Or at least the opinions and explanations aren't very good. So this video has come out in November last year, has almost 250,000 views, and this is the only reason The Escapist is still around, because of Yahtzee. So, of course, they're going to have him do more work in doing this kind of stuff. So
either they get Yahtzee to the work, or they have to ring Movie Blob and like.
Who's left? I don't even know who's left at The Escapist. I haven't been paying attention for years, so I don't know.
Jack Packard has joined them, like from Red Letter Media.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
The unfunny one.
The guy, he's also a left-leaning
the unfunny idiot?
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh.
I rember when him and Rich Evans had a video game channel, and they just
God, that was so bad.
they just stopped.
I remember that. That was in 2011 or something.
They did. This really pissed me off. You know how there's the
it was so
the half
Go
hour
on.
stills of people just drinking whiskey. Like, I hate that. It's stupid. I don't care. They did that with Mass Effect Andromeda, and they just sat there while Rich just got pissed off at BioWare, and then they just sat there for 20-30 minutes. And I was like, is this funny? Is this supposed to be a joke? Like, what are you guys doing?
What do you mean? He got sad at BioWare?
Literally just that.
BioWare.
No, he just sat there.
Mad at BioWare.
Yeah, he took the case, he tossed it aside, and he just says, "This is a dead franchise." And then Jack started talking, and then Rich just sat there gloomy, and they just sat there. That was it. That was the whole thing. And I was like, "What is this is not effort, guys. You're not doing anything funny."
Red Letter.
Yeah, you can't do the Red Letter Media prolonged joke thing with everything, especially if you don't even know how that really works.
Well, I do like Rich Evans.
The only one who does have the right timing for that is Mike.
Yeah. Mike's the comedy.
And I still think he's overusing it, but he loves this type of humor, so there you go. Have fun with it.
And they just stopped the channel. They just got, we're done. We did all the games we wanted to talk about, and they just stopped. And you're like, really? There's no other games to talk about?
No, they got irritated by the viewers. And the other thing is that, like, the greatest tragedy of pre-recorded, or whatever that channel was called, is that Mike never played Dr. Mario. Like that was my biggest tragedy.
Mike never played any video. I don't think he played any video. He doesn't like.
He did. Like, he was forced by them. I think Don't Shit Your Pants. That was the game that he was playing.
He played that. He played that co-op or something.
Is with the people in the comments were likely gamers who care.
Yeah.
And these I'm sorry, douches didn't. I only remember seeing one episode and not even the full thing, because I just had to turn it off. It was Rich and Jack talking about Risk of Rain 1. The second one didn't exist yet. And about the rogue-like genre, which it technically isn't. It's a roguelite, but that's splitting hairs. And Jack then complained that, well, he does like the roguelike genre. I think it's 10 years ago. Please cut me some slack if I get details wrong. And that he likes the roguelike genre, but he really doesn't like about this game that you get all these random items and you don't know what you do with them. What they do. You don't know what they do. He hates that. Which is the key element of roguelikes. The core of the fucking genre.
All right, here's the.
I just had to turn off and thought this guy's an idiot. I will never listen to this ever again.
Okay, here's
the escape.
Here's the prolapse of Us. I don't know if that's an Among Us joke or the Last of Us joke. I couldn't tell you. Anyway.
Well, not both. Hooray!
Not to say Yahtzee and Movie Slob are comparable, but if Yahtzee gets fired, he'll only be fired once, while Movie Slob has been fired twice. And if this man called Japanese people white, imagine what he'll call open world. Oh.
Yeah, no offense, but the minute
I don't know, gas chamber.
Well, the thing is, it's like I think someone put in the comments on the last extra punctuation video we did. By his wording, he'd call anything made by a company in Uganda white.
If it's
because they're the large.
Yeah. If the Ugandans look at themselves, who are the Ugandan company or something like that.
Who Killed Captain Alex is a white movie.
Yeah, and it's just a bit like how can anyone who says that, bear in mind this is now recorded on YouTube. You know, it's not like he can say, "Oh, I never said that." People can clip it and all that.
Downloaded for posterity.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a historical document to later show that look, this is how insane people were.
Yeah, but
or we can just delete it.
No, but even if you delete it, someone.
That's why I say download it.
Yeah, but after that, he's got that position now. That is now the position that he holds. It's like, how can anyone take you seriously with anything that you ever say ever again?
Mm-hmm.
It just baffles me. I mean, I know somebody.
You've thrown logic, reason, and basic comprehension out the window. You've thrown reality out the window in favor of a magic belief system.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, someone put in the comments underneath the last video, would you like to get Yahtzee on to one of the streams to talk about his things? I'm like, no. No, why would I want to? I have to listen to him in the video talk like a fucking moron.
It's really about like you don't want another Londoner next to you.
I'd be fine doing it. It would just not be nice to have like 5 people on against him. That would be.
Yeah, but that
would not be nice.
With no offense, I've heard his opinion.
I've talked with more insane people, Hawk.
Yeah, but I'm not like no. I'm just like I just wanted to respond. How about no?
Okay. This is a case of where I would say, no, I don't want to, but I would.
Well, no, I don't want to, and I wouldn't. There, checkmate.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Show your sanity.
All right. So this is only 7 minutes and a half. It won't go. Won't take that long for us to go through.
Wait, hold on.
I thought it was 8 minutes.
Right, and he's trying to say open world is dead. What can he say in 7.5 minutes?
Hopefully,
and this is called extra punctuation.
Yeah.
So first we have to wonder what does he even mean with the title? Does he mean the genre? Does he mean open world games are dead on the inside because there's not enough in them?
Yeah,
it's gotta tell us that it's empty.
Yeah, like you could look at open world online games, like those are gigantic. So, does that mean the player base is
MMORPGs? That's
well, it's still an open world.
Not sure, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. But if he brings up Breath of the Wild, I'm gonna complain.
I'm sure he will,
because that world is supposed to be empty. It's a post-apocalypse, barely anyone still alive thing.
Well, this is the thing. I still play New Vegas. I don't know about you guys. I have a bunch of open world games I enjoy, and I still play them. So I don't think if you still keep coming back to a game and you know why it's good, the elements of, for example, those games or Bethesda games or whatever are. It's not just the open world; it's everything else. Like that's just like the jumping platform Mario jumps on is like that's good, but that's not all what the Mario is about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like open worlds, like they're empty. It's like, okay, the biggest selling like open world game, Skyrim, is that empty? Well, no, not really. There's quite a lot to do in it. Like I say, Red Dead 2. There's a hell of a lot to do in Red Dead 2 in the open world. Like even like you say, the Fallout games, they've got things to do. Do you know what I mean? There's still things doing these open worlds.
And look at the sales for GTA. They're still, in the top 5 at least every year, which is crazy. So
How?
I know. I don't understand it.
How there's still people who haven't bought it yet?
I know. It's weird. I don't get it. But they are.
Because of the online.
It's FIFA, GTA. It's the standard top 5.
Yeah.
So.
It's one of those where, I will always say, for an open world to be good, there's got to be stuff to do in it, because the worst thing is traveling around an empty open world.
Yeah, and there's a genre.
That's the one thing that Breath of the Wild did on purpose and did it well, because it's about the atmosphere of you're here in this jungle, this desert, on this mountain, in the snow, anywhere, and it's just kind of chill.
Yeah. But what I mean is obviously with that, it's meant to be like that. But what I mean is, I'll always go to Dragon Age Inquisition. That is a cold, empty, dead world. That's once you do the main story, there's no reason to ever go into the open world ever again. That's sad.
Yeah, compared to
that is sad.
Like GTA or even Andromeda, I would say that's arguably open world. It's gigantic. I don't know if you could traverse all of it, but it's fun to get in your dune buggy and run around. But that's driving a car essentially in GTA, which you can do in GTA.
But there's also there's a few things you can do after the story. There's a few cutscenes, a few things on planets with stuff that you can do. With Dragon Inquisition, once you've done everything, it's just collectible missions. You're like, right, cool.
The part of open world is always exploration, and that requires good level design. And in a way, may sound a bit odd, but Guild Wars 1, the story mode, it's not a consistent open world in the sense of you don't have loading screens, and you have an evolving story. You go through time jumps, and then things change, of course. But you can solo explore an enormous world there without doing story quests, and it's still interesting. I love doing that in that game, because the level designers, they really put in effort to make things interesting and have some nooks and crannies here that probably not many people stumbled upon.
All right. Okay. Let's get going.
For asking for your support for our premium programs via the Escapist Plus and YouTube memberships. Your support allows us to continue making the content we want instead of chasing algorithms with the latest trends. Plus, you get a bunch of perks like ad-free viewing via the Escapist Plus on our website, early access on YouTube via YouTube memberships, and bonus content like our monthly Ask the Creators video series where we answer your burning questions. We've also added 3 new perks to our $5 tier, including a 15% discount on merch via our Teespring shop, a new piece of bonus content called Escapist Highlights featuring the best moments from our streams each month, and a new members-only live stream, The State of the Escapist, where you get a quarterly update on how the site is doing from our editor-in-chief. New merch is
pretty fucking shit.
Wow.
Just had to admit that.
I just don't understand why they hired Jack Packard of all people. You already
no one else wanted
you already
to come.
Exactly. You already have Jim Sterling, which nobody can stand. You have Movie Blob, who nobody can stand.
They don't have Jim Sterling anymore.
They don't have Jim Sterling.
Gone.
Jim Sterling has been fired for 7 years now.
What? I thought he's still on the side. What's he doing?
No, Bob.
Is he
Bob
just
left.
doing his own shit on YouTube?
Bob was fired 2 times. And
thought they rehired
Jim
him
Sterling
again.
was left 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, well, see, I haven't been on his fucking website because the only interesting thing ever was 0 punctuation.
Wasn't Jack a CGI guy? What was Jack known for? I know.
Yeah, he was a CGI guy.
Okay.
Special effects, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He did the special effects for a very formidable movie called Space Cop.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Number 1 movie in Uganda.
Yes.
I got a copy of that.
Anyway, good for using Yahtzee to sell whatever subscription. If you're going to use Yahtzee to make money, that's how you do it. So good for them.
It kind of boggled me for a long time that pretty much if Yahtzee would have left this company a long time ago, I think it would have gone bankrupt.
Long time ago.
Because everyone, I would say 95% of the audience is probably coming for Yahtzee.
Yeah,
no one
Do you
else.
think he would have made more money without the Escapist?
Look at this art. Look at that's his signature art style.
Yeah.
Those whatever people, and it's amazing. Like, why is he still bound to this place? Like, is he getting like a share of it?
Yeah, back in the day, there was those two guys who did a bunch of funny skits, and they were like news reporters, and they tried to act like they were reporting on game news, but it was all a joke to them. They did. They would go through cutscenes. It was called Creditless. I can't remember what the hell they called the
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
And they were really good. Like, these are funny dudes just to watch, have them make fun of all these dumb games from Japan. Not dumb games, but like the cutscenes were so silly that they were just like doing Mystery Science Theater style commentary. Like, it was good stuff. So they were good. They were on for a few years. I don't know where they went to, but
probably to a better place.
Yeah, probably.
I'm surprised he never shared out a basic JRPG with this art style, because it doesn't look that far away from Epic Battle Simulator.
Do a Paper Mario style art. Like, it looks very customizable. Look at all these objects in your hand. You can make an RPG. Like, it would work. Yeah.
Oh no, Epic Fantasy Battle was the name.
Oh.
I only played the first one when it was still on Newgrounds and DeviantArt.
Oh, that game.
There's a fifth out now.
Well,
the guy really turned his little passion project with the titty girl into money. I applaud that.
I do remember playing. Was it the 5th or the 7th? I can't remember how many there are anymore.
I think there's 5 now.
Yeah, I definitely played.
But I only played the first.
It was on like ArmorGames.net or something like that. It was some Flash game site that has all these web games.
Ooh, damn.
Anyway, yeah, no, Yahtzee could do his own thing, and everyone would know him, and that'd be fine. So, and he could do whatever music he wanted, because I remember when he first started, he was using random music, and it got copyright, so he had to make music for him, and he kept using that one. So anyway, let's keep going.
Also now available for Adventures Nigh, Zero Punctuation, and more. Thanks to our fans' continuing support, The Escapist is on track for our best year yet. Was that slow enough, Nick?
Okay. Honestly, on that, when I see that, memberships for the entire website, I think he'd make more money if he had just the memberships for himself.
On his own website.
I guess he's not confident enough to like do this on his own.
I bet everything else is just subsidized.
Well, you know what? Maybe he's doing... Does he have his own YouTube channel? I don't know if he's...
No, he does not.
Contractually...
He is literally just part of Escapist. That's it.
Oh, okay. Because if he was allowed to make it... Maybe he is. I don't know. But I'm assuming that they want his presence just on The Escapist. So they have
But MovieBob did that. But MovieBob like released everything on his YouTube channel. Well, he was part of The Escapist as well. So technically he is allowed, but he just doesn't do it. I guess like he's vice CEO of the company or something like that. Because I can't imagine that he's still just an employee who makes videos for a company like that.
Okay, let's get to these main points. I want to see what he has to say.
It is on there is a YouTube channel, of course, of The Escapist, and that has Zero Punctuation on it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
Intro.
The worst music.
The open world is dead. Sorry to have to break it to you. It wasn't an easy death either. A very prolonged, very painful death from being chained to a milking machine and having all its blood, bones, and internal organs sucked out through its nipples. You might think this declaration premature, considering that open-world games have been coming out constantly for years, and yet more are announced for the future both near and far. But don't be fooled. That's just the noise being made by all the dead flesh and...
I'm glad that other genres weren't being produced constantly the last couple of years.
FPS games
and
horror games.
Well,
horror games.
Those horrible
Story
indie games.
Well,
RPGs.
He showed those. He showed Starfield. I can't think of any other open world sci-fi genre. Like, I'm trying to. Like, what was a good example of one? I can't really.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky is open world. That's right.
And it's good now.
It's good now. Yeah, after 15 years.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Maybe.
No.
Is that sci-fi now?
Maybe.
That open world?
One of its entries.
Is that open world?
When they
Battlefield.
went into space. I don't know.
What about Saints Row? Because that's sci-fi.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe.
Oh yeah.
It's like a goofy Matrix GTA sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're apologizing
Is
for it now
Batman
because
sci-fi?
it was so racist and stuff.
It was racist.
It
I
was
mean,
racist and
yeah.
sexist. It's why the next Saints Row is going to be woke.
Racist?
Saints
You know,
Row.
but the open world genre is that's a very difficult one to make. You need to put way more resources into that than into other genres.
Yeah.
And even with this genre, not everything that comes out is good.
So even though we know
So
Bethesda's
there's
track
fewer of
record,
these.
I'm looking forward to Starfield just because it's sci-fi, nothing more. The pictures, I don't care. Just give me sci-fi open world.
Let's see if it works. And the thing is, if this is a more difficult genre to make because it requires much more work put into it, there will be fewer games of it, but we will still have duds.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean that the genre is dead. You could say that the real-time strategy genre is dead because it has become complete niche because, well, the gaming market has been flooded by normies who just play whatever you throw at them.
Right. It's like ordering.
And they don't like games that that require them to think, like strategy games.
Yeah, it's kind of like ordering a wedding cake, and a wedding cake has to be big and tall and have enough for 150 people or whatever. And you can't just make a lame wedding cake. It has to be amazing and expensive and fancy. So you have to get all those moving parts working. And if
Wedding cakes are dead because we didn't have one in 2 years.
oh yeah, weddings are dead. Yeah. Okay.
but my point is, you can't say, there's don't be fooled by the fact that they churn out tons of games. It's dead. It's like you could say that about literally every genre. Yahtzee. It's like they do make other things. They churn out a new FIFA every year.
Yeah.
Is the sporting games dead?
Yeah, and
It
we're
might
always
just
going to look at the games from CD Projekt Red, whether you love them or hate them.
Mm-hmm.
They are huge productions, and people will keep buying them, and they are open world. So,
Well, anything like what Rockstar make. I mean, no offense, but whichever game they make next, either GTA 6 or Red Dead 3, is just going to be gobbled up by.
yeah, Bully
the
2. Like, I want to see a Bully game.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. A Bully 2, yeah. Whatever they make, people are going to say, well, they do take care of their open world.
Yeah, they're one of the few companies like, outside of what Blizzard used to be, they really put a lot of effort and polish. So Rockstar is that next company who spends the extra 3 years to release a game. So,
I would say that in the best scenario possible, I would say Yahtzee is exhausted from games, jaded, because he has to play so many.
really, that's
Then things then things do become bland because this is the same game over again. This is the same over again. This is the same game over again. It's just different assets.
I don't know. A lot of these open world
Well, you
games,
should be more
If the
specific.
mechanics are too similar.
like Red Dead, like The Witcher, all these open world games are very popular. They're very good. They're very well done. So this is what I mean by the wedding cake analogy, because to make a wedding cake good, it has to have all of these layers. They all have to be balanced. They all have to have proper seasons and fillings and all kinds of things that your guests are going to love. So to get that level of product or quality, to get the budget going, get the time, the management, is a labor of effort of love. And yes, you screw things up. Yes, things get broken and you have to take another year to fix things and have bug testing. It takes another year. But they are high quality. Everyone knows that. The Red Dead stuff even had patches when it came out, so it's normal to have these day one patches, and 6 months later patch, and 2 years later another patch. Maybe, I don't know how Red Dead's doing these days. So
online is
Fine, I guess.
crap. Everyone's complaining about the fact there's no update, and story mode is just been, it's great, but there's a few things that people are like, they should really be sorted. But
these are
I'm still waiting them to fix John's face.
Oh really?
yeah. They just pasted John Marston's face over Arthur Morgan's model, so it looks
right. And everyone's everyone's excited about the next Breath of the Wild, if there is going to be one. So there's lots of anticipation. There's lots of fans already. And unless he's going to argue the game mechanics are the same or the innovation's dead,
Oh, I hope not.
It really depends because the argument has to come forth. We don't know yet, but let's see where he goes because there's lots of things you could say about because there's so many moving parts to a open world game. Anyway.
Yeah.
Organs getting slurped back and forth through the machinery. It's very sad. The history of the open world game might as well be the history of gaming itself. Its invention was practically inevitable. Something like it had long been the dream of gamers and developers alike, ever since we first played Super Mario and thought how cool it would be if we could escape from the fixed horizontal line of the level and explore that green hill in the background with the mysterious eyes. Or when we looked at the cosmetic windows on the buildings in, say, RoboCop for the Commodore 64 and thought about how cool it would be if we could go inside all of those windows and find an individually crafted room in each one and see what pictures the drug dealers hung up. And at the highest level,
I suppose.
Yes.
Wisp, you taking a sip of coffee there? Really, really long sip?
Oh, sorry, that was the mic. I still had it muted because I was typing. The window thing. We have that, for example, in Demon Blade Muramasa, and it is quite funny.
Sorry?
The secrets. Demon Blade Muramasa has that feature.
Demon Blade.
You can go into all the little houses. Yeah, it's a classic.
Okay. I don't know it.
You don't know that? Oh, you don't know that game.
Even Zelda 2 has this. You can enter all the houses.
Yeah, and it's fun, and you find little secrets or other things, fun things. Here's a joke. There's a secret shop. There's a secret enemy. It's fun.
That's the eternal struggle of playing a Fallout game. There's so much stuff to explore, and it's all either trash or you might get a bobblehead, stuff like that.
Yeah. The problem in really old games is that they simply didn't have the memory to allow for that.
Right.
I'm sure when they made Pong, they weren't going, this is the pinnacle of what we can make. Gaming will never be better than this. It's like, I bet they were thinking, oh God, if only we had more stuff, we could make this even better.
All right.
Well, I'm also curious to what he meant by like the inevitable end of like how these open world games are designed.
Oh, the thing is, as Wisp put it, Yahtzee is just an incredible nihilist, and so he's really only hoping for his own swift, inevitable death, so he never has to play another video game ever again. So,
all right.
Oh, somebody in the comments was arguing that, like, oh, you guys just don't understand Yahtzee because Yahtzee has to play a new game every week, and like most people only play new games like once a year or twice. I have to play video games. Oh no!
I have to play video games every single week.
Can you imagine?
It doesn't erase the fact that, like, objectively, some of these games are really outstanding, regardless if he has experienced it in some other medium.
I can understand if he was like a whiskey taster for every week because your liver might, I don't know, not like that. But for health reasons, but for video games, it's like take a nap. Rest your eyes. That's it.
Yeah, and maybe change the genre once in a while.
Yeah.
I can tell you for tea tasting, there are tea masters, and they get paid like 10, 12, 15,000 euros a month. And they get that because they have to taste, what is it, like 200 to 500 teas a day. And most of them are crap. And then he mentioned that you do that for black tea. You just have some lovely thing in your mouth instead of a tongue at the end. That's basically damages being paid to you. You can't stand that horrible crap at some point. You still love the good stuff. The tea master will still adore the good stuff. Yahtzee seems to have lost their taste for the good stuff.
Yahtzee seems to have lost the taste.
Which is his problem.
Yeah.
Why is it that any other person they can say, "Oh, this game was phenomenal," even though it's just like the other one?
Another guess would be that yes, he hates his job. Doing this is because when you have to do this as a job, the games are not fun anymore. They become work. It's understandable that
he has been doing this for 15 years.
Yes. But maybe he doesn't know how to reinvent himself and do something new.
He does. He makes video games like in his free time and also writes novels.
I'm going to say, where's his novel?
Shouldn't he have enough on his bank account at this point to just call it quits for a year?
Like, that bothers me as well. That like I have no idea why he is still doing this. By now, like he should be like millionaire from the shit that he's doing.
Yeah, he should just quit.
But he probably earns like $1 million, and it still only just covers his rent living in California.
In California, yeah, of course.
Now he probably has to also pay for food and shelter for his wife's boyfriend.
That too, like the white privilege.
Okay.
He has a wife?
Let's keep going.
She's a white Japanese woman.
Well, the advance of gaming technology has been one long road to achieving that dream. First, Super Mario 3 let you go left as well as right and explore the whole map. Then 3D graphics allowed us to fully explore the in-game space from multiple perspectives. Memory improved, allowing for more and more details and assets to be rendered simultaneously. It was only a matter...
Oh, no. You left something out. You missed a step. Looking up and down.
Oh, and Doom, yeah.
Because we couldn't do that at first.
hold the page up button for 5 seconds and it zooms up a bit.
What about the time when everyone decided that A would be the jump button? You could jump in 3D. I feel people forget that.
Oh yes.
In Mario World it was B. A was the spin jump.
Yeah, but when did A become the
Yeah.
I was making a joke. You know what I meant, Wes? Stop being so fucking German.
I can't stop, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was a joke?
If he said stop being so autistic, I would also say I can't. I literally can't.
I did tell you to stop being autistic. I told you to stop being German. They're the same thing, aren't they?
In a way.
when you get something in your head, the Germans don't stop.
Yeah, so don't give us ideas.
Oh my god. Economic reform. Oh. Energy reform.
Like, we should invade Europe. Don't do that. Does it twice because we're so autistic.
Okay.
Well, 3 times the charm, right?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of time before the dream of a fully 3D, fully detailed, go anywhere setting would be realised. And in brief, it has. Open worlds are now commonplace. We've got games with entire fully detailed cities, wildernesses, deserts, alien landscapes. You can go inside every window and look at all the drug dealers' furniture and knock all their chairs over and leave their taps running just to be a dick. And you know what?
Yay!
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of long treks.
Oh my god,
Oh,
this is literally. Oh my god, this is literally. I am such a cynical nihilist. I hate everything. Well done. Well done, Yahtzee. I'm an old man now. I don't like things.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can have that, though. It's like, look at the evolution of gaming. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, Yahtzee, so far, that doesn't mean that the genre is dead. That just means that you're tired of it.
Yeah, just look at this.
You specifically.
Look at
you
this.
don't need to play these games if you don't want to.
Look at this beautiful shot of Red Dead. I mean, it's like, who wouldn't
It's
want
all real time. Oh my god.
Like, who wouldn't want to jump into that and just go on a ride on a horse?
Well, Eric, what did I showed you that thing? There's a girl in like Colorado who sends in screenshots of her playing Red Dead 2 to her local news channel, and they think it's like actual real photos of the wilderness.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's just
does she get money for it?
I don't know, but it's a good little joke thing. But
She should.
Yeah, she should. But like Spud says, these games look gorgeous. I mean, I'll always say it. It looks. I'm actually playing Red Dead right now while we do this stream, and it's like, yeah,
the clicky noises.
Yeah, the game's amazing. The game is literally it's beautiful, and the fact is, I'm sorry that Yahtzee's like a 40-year-old man who hates everything because he's in his 40s. Sorry.
He's from London. It just it goes with.
How do the communists say it? It wasn't made for you.
Yeah. But it's just like, but he's literally, I'm sick of it. Okay.
Yeah, don't like it, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this is a general problem with saying technology is too good. Oh, the level of detail, the customization, the features, the options of gameplay. Oh, I'm just sick of all this detail. It's like, okay, maybe he likes a simpler game. That's fair. People don't like all this stuff to do and things to interact with. I understand. It's too complicated for some people. But Yahtzee should know better. He's been playing so many games.
It's almost like you're saying like, oh, I just hate open world games because there's so much in them, but I just get confused and lost, and
Right.
the world's too vibrant. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
I like to use the food analogy just because it's easier to understand. Like if you go to a banquet all the time, yeah, you get tired of that. You get stuffed, but you still say there's so much good food in a certain way, because some banquets it's about quantity, not quality. But with open world, you get a lot of the same assets reused or the same gameplay things reused, but they're in different contexts. They're in different scenarios. There's so much. Like you do this instead of that. Like there's a mission to kill someone, or in Red Dead it's to capture someone or steal something, or all kinds of things.
You know what's funny, Smud? You've just reminded me of something. I clearly remember in Yahtzee's review of Dragon Age 2 that he complained about the reusing of assets.
Right.
And he didn't like it. And he didn't like the fact that the world seemed so small with all the reused assets. And now, 10 years later, he's now complaining about open worlds actually using a lot of assets. And it's like, strange that, isn't it? Just weird.
Yeah. Well, again, this is his opinion. There's nothing wrong with not liking a thing for proper reasons. I would expect something different from Yahtzee. Maybe he's just being the cynical actor here.
Well, that's fine. But the title is "The Open World is Dead." Sorry, and I'm like, how?
Cynical is the right word.
Yeah.
And Neil in the chat also says, I love Metroidvania-style games for their simple presentation and traversing through the levels. And Metroidvania games, in a way, are also open-world games.
Really?
Yeah, because you can go anywhere. It's just also a puzzle where you have to find the right item to unlock more, but then you go back. The whole, like the Metroid games are, everything is open to you, and you can backtrack everywhere, anytime. And in a way, you have these content logs in a very soft way in Breath of the Wild as well, with the weather system, with cold and heat. And blazing heat that sets you on fire instantly. And you can mitigate that early on when you know enough about the game. Otherwise, you have to follow a little quest line and to unlock the content that makes you immune to that. For example, you can, if you figure out that as long as you equip a charged up fire sword or a fire wand, that your body temperature is automatically raised, and thus you can, with much less equipment, go up into the icy mountains. That area is open to you without having to find the warming clothes, like things like that. But you have to figure that out, and you can easily figure these things out if you pay attention, and that makes that very interesting to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, this is all good stuff.
Yeah, when the world is realistic in what elements it has and how they interact, then you can do things like this.
I know. When I remember playing Witcher 3 for the first time, and you got into your horse and you go along these paths and you start galloping. It's like, wow, you get this. The whole world just comes at you, and your horse just sort of takes control to a degree. And you can just appreciate the scenery. And it's just like, oh, what's that over there? Like it encourages you to explore while you're doing something fun. And that was one of the detriments actually to the story, because the story was, a focus of saving your daughter, and it's a big rush, but you're also rushing in the opposite direction to go have a bar fight or capture some monster. So it was kind of like this weird juxtaposition of, okay, I want to do this thing, but I'm also having fun over here.
Yeah. This is why, like, I'm going to bring up Red Dead 2, and I really do apologize, because I bet people just get hate. They just hate me bring up. But that's why I enjoyed the open world more in Red Dead 2 than I did in the first Red Dead, because the story in the first Red Dead, you really want to keep moving, because you're after people, you're hunting down your old gang to get your family back. You shouldn't really be, shooting up bars and, robbing people, you know what I mean, or playing poker.
I completely understand what you mean when the plot seems like there is a time limit. Yeah. In any game, it feels like, why am I on 15 side quests? Clear, like in Baldur's Gate 2. You are trying to rescue Imoen from whatever weird magic ritual is going on. But then you go clear this druid forest and beat this black dragon inside. And then you clear out that castle from trolls. And then there's these secret lich rooms all over Atkatla, and this secret slave arena under the bar. Also this magic sphere thing in the top left corner that is in another dimension within the city. Oh, also there's this the Thieves Guild is battling the vampires, and you can choose sides, and then you can go into the beneath the cemetery and do fun stuff with undead and vampires there, and so on and so on and so on. All the while we have this kind of we need to get money and save Imoen really quickly, and why then are we spending half a year doing all this other shit?
Yeah, it was Imoen's soul you have to save as well as your own. So you had these like similar problems. You're like, what's more important, my sister or me? It's like, well, your sister right now. And then you help her, and it's like, okay, I'm still suffering. And then you turn to this monster, and all this stuff happens. So yeah, there is a disconnect sometimes between story and gameplay.
And that's one of the critique points I have with the story of Breath of the Wild, because you get out of your cryogenic sleep cell out into the world, and you learn that Ganon is over there, and I could go right to him, and Zelda has been over there and fighting him for 100 years while I was cryogenically asleep. And now I'm going around all of Hyrule doing random shit while Zelda is still up there fighting Ganon, and I'm it rather feels like I should go right there and save my girl. Instead, I'm running around like fishing. Okay, and helping the carpenters build their little box village on some rock. Like, well,
right,
chopping trees down like 500 and. What is going on?
Here is London Great Shitten. Okay. He's sick of open world games, and I got sick of PlayStation exclusive press A to win female archer walking simulators. You know what I did? Yeah. I stopped buying PS4 games. That sounds like a bunch of whining.
Is that a subgenre? Female archer walking simulator?
Well, remember when PlayStation released all their exclusives, and all they were pretty much press A, then you watch a 4-hour cutscene, and then you press another button again. Do you remember The Order 1886?
Oh, yeah.
That was literally what it was.
I don't have PS4 games.
Yeah. One of those really great trailers, and the game is just... What? Yeah. What is this? Why are we playing this? What's the point?
Mm-hmm. The graphic, that's the point.
The graphic, yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, we are the third done? Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Through beautifully detailed scenery. I'm sick of highlighting the little icon and following the line on the minimap to get to it. And I'm sick of...
Okay, that's your problem, because you can just ignore that. I personally think that this is not a good addition to these games. They're good for normies, okay? But as I found games much more immersive when they did not have this system at all, where some indicator told me you need to go there. And we did this experiment back in the day in World of Warcraft, before Burning Crusade was out, where I told people, hey, let's just do a thing for a day. Everyone, turn off your mini-map, because you could at least do that. And shut off all your weird add-ons that give you this hovering arrow that tells you where your next quest objective is. No, just do it without that, and just try to find your way. Because even back then I remembered, well, Morrowind didn't have any of that shit. didn't even have a proper quest log. Like I sat here with a piece of paper and a pen and was making notes of what the fuck even the quests are that people gave me and where the fuck what is supposed to be. And I repeatedly got lost. I went into the wrong dungeons that were way too hard, that didn't even have the shit I was looking for, or I went into a dungeon, went through the entire bloody thing just to come back out at the front again, and then notice, the thing I'm looking for is actually right next to the entrance, like that bloody Daedric cube.
Yeah, I just did that today, actually. I was playing Morrowind, and I went to a quest for the Fighters Guild, and it ended up that I was actually on my way to the main story quest, and I had no idea that I was doing that. I was just like roaming around to the north, and then I just bumped into like a guy that was trying to like go to the other side of the coast, and then he ended up dying to like some fucking creep. But like after that, I just got to the camp, and I was like, wait, isn't this the mainline quest? And I guess like, oh, well, I guess like I got here without even like properly like having like any guide for me, because like before the game, like it gradually gets you into the travel itself. But like it lets you discover things on your own, and it's really cool. Like it gives you like geographical location that there's gonna be a hill here. You have to go north and then east, and it's like it's very immersive.
Cross that bridge, and then on the right you will see the crypt that you're supposed to go in and steal the skull from. And I didn't see the crypt. I missed it. I missed the crypt.
Yeah, I was looking for it for half an hour,
and went into the next crypt. There was also on the right side. It's just like one hill further. Right, went in, and it's just full of these horrible monsters, and oh god! And I couldn't. I tried to. I couldn't find the bloody skull. Went out. Like, okay, this was shit. Maybe I should ask some people around again. What the guy said where this is supposed to be. Walked back, and then saw. Oh, there's another cave. Now the first one that I passed before that I didn't see. Went in. Eerie background sounds. I was tense because I just was in this horrible place, and then there's the skull with magic effects all around. Like, okay, but probably when I take this, there's horrible monsters spawning instantly. Grabbed it, ran out as fast as I could, heart beating, but there was actually nothing spawning because it was a beginner quest. But after I already saw all these monsters, I was terrified, and this happened to me all the time, and this is why I love Morrowind, and why I will always fondly remember it. And the thing is, when we played World of Warcraft, and we did this day without a minimap, everyone said, damn, this is the first time I'm seeing the game. This is beautiful. It increases immersion because we train ourselves automatically to just navigate by staring at the minimap or some indicator add-on that we have and stop seeing the actual world. And that is such a great loss.
Alrighty. Well, let's keep going.
Player choice. See, I'm someone who appreciates, indeed practically specializes in, the medium of interactive narrative, and open worlds are very frequently detrimental to narrative, or at least tend to produce very similar ones. Game design frequently informing story. The story of...
Wait, how?
Huh?
It's just a different way of storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it detrimental?
And the one thing I would have liked in Breath of the Wild would have been that you could have at least little effect on rebuilding the world a little, like rebuild this garrison over here to secure some paths so that the bokoblins wouldn't hurt the traders anymore, or something like that.
Well, the
bokoblins try to expand, and then you build up some defenses and patrols and make the world safer over time. That would have been a nice interaction with the world.
When your level design is so big, the world building is more of a visual, explorative nature, and you have to have stuff in there that not explains it, but just gives it some character. So to have the main plot, and then to have a side plot or a sub-quest or a quest line or an NPC or a store or whatever along the way, is it has to happen. You can't just have A to B and there's the main story. So I understand what he's trying to get to about having an open world, because you have to put stuff in the way. You have to put hurdles, rocks, staircases, doors, whatever. So that will
No, not just that. What such games do is a lot of passive storytelling through the world itself, like the Lost Temple in Breath of the Wild.
right, but it's basically world building. Just you have to go through it, or you have to at least not like go through a trial, but at least walk through it physically to get to where you have to go. So does that encourage you to explore? Yes, it does. And that's part of the point. You want to explore because these games are like interactive books of like Tolkien. You're like, wow, here's Middle Earth. There's all this stuff to do and people to see and things to interact with. So that does take away from the main story, of course.
The story of most open world games centers around the world, obviously. Usually it's been corrupted or taken over by some antagonistic force or faction, and the main character has to be part of some resistance working against it, often doing missions to gradually reclaim power or territory from the antagonist in some way. This is all informed by gameplay because it justifies having to explore the...
Like most game plots?
Yeah, this is every game. You discover things as you talk.
It's not just open world games.
Yeah, but Wisp, what I'm going to say is, so where does GTA come in with that? Where does Red Dead come into that? Where does
Oh, don't bring counter arguments. You're destroying his point.
Fallout 3?
That's mean.
You know, where does...
Oh, this video isn't about open worlds.
Oh, sorry. I'm just. It's just a clickbait title. I should be talking about something else.
Yeah, again, and to comment is because this was I've seen this with just some guy video a bit in the comment section where I wasn't on. We do judge the content of the video by the title as well. That's important. If you use a clickbait title, you're an asshole.
Yeah, how many videos have we gone through where the title's just been clickbait?
Yeah. Because that is supposed to be your premise or your initial argument that you are talking about.
Yeah,
and then you talk about something else instead, then fuck you. Then we're gonna judge you by that and say you are not talking about what you claim to be talking about. Yeah. So you are a hack fraud.
For a video, it's almost like a hypothesis. For a story, it's like a window into what you're going to be watching. So if like The Princess Bride was called Inigo's Revenge or something like that, you'd be like, oh, okay, Inigo's in there, but he's not a main character. Why would it be about him? Like, why would you tell us that title? So there's a disconnect between
because
content.
Of the algorithm. Sorry? Everybody does it, and that's why it's okay, and you have to do it for the algorithm, so it's okay. No, it is not.
I don't know if this is
you are being dishonest. That's counter arguments that would come up.
I wouldn't even say.
I'm saying none of that counts because you're dishonest.
I don't know if that's, there's lots of ways to optimize content, like to make a good title for searches. I don't think the world is dead sorry is that sounds like something I'd watch from like upward downward thrust. It wasn't just killed, it was murdered,
Is it a clickbait title or not?
Not really. It seems like an opinion piece to me. It's whatever. It's fine.
An opinion piece can have a clickbaity title.
Yeah, but that doesn't make me click.
Because the author wants it to be read.
I see it as a joke. I see it as kind of like a joke because it's a subjective opinion to say something is dead when clearly it's not. Like everyone knows these games aren't going away.
Clickbait titles usually have very extreme choice of words in them. And a claim like the open world is dead is a very extreme claim. That's why I call it clickbait. And so far, he hasn't told us anything beyond he doesn't like open world games.
Yeah, but to a gamer, to see that, it's like, oh, come on, it's a joke. Like, it's not serious. It's not to be taken seriously. If you consider a clickbait, that's fair.
We have come across enough insane people. We have come across enough insane people who believe absurd shit and mean it.
Well, to me, okay, let's say someone made a clickbait, the cure for COVID has been found. That'd be a clickbait title because it's like, okay, really? It's possible because we have all these solutions to COVID. So that would be a clickbait title. And the size or the length of the video might make me go, okay, maybe it's a news report, so it's very quick. But if he's saying open world is dead and it's only 10 minutes, I'm like, or less than 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, that's a joke. Clearly. It's a silly...
How?
Because you don't have enough time to explain everything.
Where's the joke, though? Where's
No,
the
but-
joke though?
No, but Smart, that's just a joke to you because you think that's not possible. But you miss that to many people. This sounds like an interesting thing. I want to see what he has to say,
Yeah,
and that
but-
makes it clickbait.
From
It baits
Yahtzee?
you to click it.
From Yahtzee, I don't take him seriously anyway, so it's.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't back too. People already. I mean,
Try to see this. Okay, Smart. Try to see this from people less sophisticated than you.
Wisp. We
The
always,
subhumans, right?
we always think people less sophisticated as us. It's not very hard.
Well, this is the same argument with downward thrust, and what's the other guy's name? I can't remember. They're basically the same. Cool Prince of Gaming. What's his name? He was on EFAP. What the hell was his name? Damn. Anyway, he does cooking now. We were watching one of his cooking videos last year.
Oh, Tonald.
Tonald, yeah, Tonald Loke. They had the same sort of titles, which were like, it wasn't just killed, it was murdered. And you're like, okay, what? It's another opinion piece that doesn't go anywhere. And he's going to reference a bunch of things, and that's about it. And you're like, oh, come on, you can't take that seriously. So,
No.
Oh, you mean like the thing that was just in what was USA Today, the opinion piece that argues that to follow Plato's Republic, we should mandate give the state the mandate to take away the children of all parents to make sure that they will all have the same start for equity.
really?
in
Yes.
California.
Really?
Yes. Would you call that a joke, or would you call that insane?
I would call that, well, there's lots of insane. You could have given me like, the sky is
Line's
blue.
getting blurry.
And that could be insane because, why would you write that? But because I know a little bit about that, I'd be like, okay, that's a bit of a stretch there.
Yeah, but that is what they want.
Yeah, well,
And ironically, and in East Germany, they got very close to that.
yeah. But again, I'm just gonna move the conversation away from the C word. Which
I deliberately didn't say it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm now just moving the conversation
It's okay.
away from that subject. Just slightly.
Wait, what's the word, cunt?
I know. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Back onto the open world is dead, and it's a bit like, as Smud said earlier, what he's complaining about is it's a plot of a story which can be put into any type of game. But there are clearly other examples that disprove this. So again, it is. We have to look at this as Yahtzee's old. He's become more grumpy, and he's not really enjoying what he does anymore.
Let's go with that
that's
premise.
really
Let's go with that. Okay.
That's how I'm seeing this video, because it just looks. I can just imagine in 10 years' time, Yahtzee will be shouting at kids to get off his lawn.
Oh. Or stop shitting on his lawn if he's in California.
Yeah, in California. But that's where I'm.
Sure.
this whole thing.
Sounds like you
Yeah.
invite them in.
And there's a wonderful difference here. Yahtzee seems to hate what he's doing at this point.
Maybe.
I don't know when it turned.
Yeah.
I don't know when he turned. But Total Biscuit, his wife wrote that even on his deathbed, while he was dying in his last breaths, he was still reviewing video games because he loved doing that.
Well, not everyone
That's
can
the
be
difference
British
between these
and
two.
a lover of the same thing for the same amount of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's a big difference between these two guys.
Okay. All right. Here's Vladimir Dragunov, and this is not a super chat, but it gets popped up in the same manner. He's been a member for 2 months. Thank you, sir. What's the difference between Paul Walker and Betty White? Paul Walker hit 100 before he died.
That rhymes.
Wow.
Oh shit, man.
I'm writing that one down. That is that's a keeper. Well, it's like was it today? Someone on my Facebook said they were doing the Betty White challenge.
What's that?
Well, I thought it's to donate $5 to an animal shelter
Oh,
in
okay.
her name. I thought it was invite everyone to your birthday party, then die before it.
Oh. Okay.
That's a dry
So
one.
Yeah, I got the wrong end of the stick there.
Yeah.
But imagine that, though. Imagine inviting all those people to your 100th birthday and then dying like a month before. Oh. She got a little bit too cocky in her old age.
I did actually see her last interview she had. I think it was 10 days before she died. She seemed fine. Obviously, she was old, but, you know.
What were you going to say? Was it, please bring me some oxygen? I'm struggling.
I was like, I'm going to get through this. Yeah, no, she seemed fine. It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It still surprises me that Gene Hackman's 91.
Oh.
because he's not been seen since like 2011.
Really?
Yeah, and they had a recent photo of him. It's crazy. But he still looks in like really good health. And it's just strange thinking that he's nearly 100 as well.
Well, yeah, but he stopped doing anything because of whatever condition he is.
He writes books now.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah, he's an author now, yeah. So, still does something, Smudge.
Acting does take a lot out of you, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I think it's the
when
length
look at Don Lemon.
Well, I think it's the time, how much effort you have every day. You have to be awake on set for like 18 hours and do the second, 20 second, 30 second, like 100 takes of the same thing. You know, it's all kinds of work.
Have you ever seen Gene Hackman's last movie?
Which was it?
Something about Mooseville. He becomes a mayor of a small city near the Canadian border.
Really?
Yeah, with what's the guy from Everyone Loves Raymond? That actor, the main actor.
Romano.
Yeah, Ray Romano. He's got him in it as well, and it's just it's terrible. I wouldn't recommend.
Maybe
the guy who started in the French Connection that was his last movie. You're like, that's terrible.
All right.
Well, anyhow.
The open world, and it being filled with groups of standard enemies to fight. It also seems to be de rigueur for these games to always have a mission around the mid...
Why are you showing all these white people, Yahtzee? You want diversity.
White power.
This white supremacist video game is really getting onto me right now.
That's why he doesn't like open world games. There's too many white people. Okay.
Yeah.
The hero gets captured too. Yes.
Yeah. Look at that white man there with his goblet. Bastard.
Am I supposed to care for him? Jeez.
Okay.
Where the hero is captured and stripped of their abilities or weapons for all of 10 minutes in order to re-establish the main villain as a threat, as it would be easy to feel that threat being undermined by the player having done nothing but chump on the villain and chip their territory away from the word go. I'm sick of playing it.
That's not entirely true in that game. He was a pretty big threat, especially in the beginning.
Yeah,
and then when you get to the end, it's like, well, I mean, you're fully upgraded, but it's still a bit of a challenge because it's not like Assassin's Creed. It's just simple combat.
Yeah, I also hate it in most other games where there's always a stealth mission or something where you lose your weapons, like in Gears of War games or Call of Duty games or you know. Sorry, Yahtzee, you can literally say this about any genre of video game. Stop being miserable! Oh my god!
Here's Gasoline Chugger. This guy's bad takes are boring compared to Sterling and Movie Knob. Movie Bob said Batgirl should get raped for the character development.
What?
And Sterling said VR is bad because he's too much of a wide load to play the games.
Yeah, that is true. He did say VR is fat. Yeah.
Is that because the helmet doesn't fit his head? Like,
no, because
it makes him move.
Yeah, because he moves, it's too much effort.
Yeah, he could trip and fall. I don't know.
Jimmy boy, that is not fat phobic. That is you being movement phobic.
Wait, because I don't know if you guys know VR games. There is no There's no track you're running on. You're just moving your body slightly to the left and to the right. You're not actually walking.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Even that is too much for him.
The word we need to establish is motion phobic.
Yeah. Could you imagine trying to seriously tell somebody like, "Oh, why don't you like VR?" Well, it's because my thyroid glands makes me struggle to walk. And like, what? Man, seriously, stop. Just
Wait, do you go to the bathroom? I mean, you have to move some point.
yeah.
After an average meal, any VR is too much.
Sterling's
I'm
hair
surprised
gets in the way of of the VR headset.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's
yeah,
able to use the
Which hair?
to push
The
the
facial
buttons on the
hair or-
controller.
The fake hair he glued to his
is
head.
Is Skyward Sword too much movement for him?
Oh, Eric, you really don't want to see an image
Consider-
of that person.
Considering the fact that Jim hasn't seen his sword in probably 20 years, yeah, Skyward Sword is probably a bit too much for him.
Well, he's
No
got
wonder his
those
wife has a boyfriend.
what are those wax gloves on all the time that cover up to his elbows.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he does.
Can he
James
play Wii
Stephanie
Fit Yoga?
Sterling.
Sorry. What was that?
Can he play the Wii Fit Yoga? I mean, you're just sitting there.
Oh God, he would die. He would collapse.
Yeah.
The pad you have to stand on, yeah, it would break.
Oh God, yeah.
I feel sorry if he lives in an apartment for the people below him. That's just, a safety hazard constantly above him.
Anyway,
When he,
Every
like,
day is just like they live it as their last. Because oh God, please
If you
Jim,
moved in-
don't.
If you moved in under Jim Sterling, you have to be given like hard hats, given like
Yeah.
safety instructions, what to do in the case of a.
I think
Oh no,
all the plaster,
his
sure you
VR
get the
equipment out.
yeah, all the
Make sure you get the kids under the table.
all the plaster would already be broken and fall apart. There'd just be steel and wood, just all empty.
It's actually, underneath is just, it's not, you don't have walls, they're just like metal, like sheets.
Yeah,
Just,
clunk, clunk, clunk. He's walking. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
these are the same steel beams used to keep up the Eiffel Tower.
All right.
We got off track real quick.
Yeah, I know. Just imagining the support structure of Jim's apartment. Okay. Anyway, let's go.
Out this same plot and themes in every AAA game.
No, it's
I should
not.
stress that this is mainly a AAA problem rather than an open world problem. There are plenty of indies demonstrating that a restrained.
Okay, so it's not an open world problem. Okay, so open world's not dead. Case closed.
So his point was-
next video.
So his last minute was irrelevant.
So he's trying to say that AAA gaming in open world genre is bad, but indie gaming with open world is good. It's like, okay, fair.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Is that,
Hold
is
on,
that
Spud.
what he said?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
Essentially.
how's it dead?
Essentially.
But guys, now that he's moved on to a different opinion, we should stop talking about open world and talk
But-
about what he's really about.
But the reason why is because the plots or the stories in those
Yeah.
in those minor or those small budget games are,
God damn it, Watchmen! It's your fault again.
yeah, that tiny little story.
Yeah.
Well, Watchmen, they actually did make a game for that.
Yeah, but
Oh.
Watchmen's got an open world. So
I don't know what it was. It was a beat 'em up. I know that.
Really interesting. Okay,
Oh, was it? Oh.
that's an interesting take on Watchmen, but okay, sure, why not?
There was fighting in Watchmen, so
I wouldn't know what
Sure.
to do in an open world Watchmen game.
I would imagine it would be a series of mini games where like Dr. Manhattan's like stomping tanks and then
That would be fun, actually. Yeah.
or the comedians raping Vietnamese people.
or shooting people with rubber bullets. Like, oh, that'd be kind of.
Rubber bullets. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
He's
yeah,
a comedian, but what the fuck? No.
Play as a woman, take it from all directions from Dr. Manhattan. Or I mean, Mr.
Yeah.
Manhattan. Whatever.
All right. Anyway.
Thought sandbox gameplay can produce something very compelling, like Outer Wilds. It's not even a problem with every AAA open world game. Look
You
at
said
Rockstar
Outer
games.
World?
The Grand Theft Auto.
Wait, hold on.
So you're,
hold on.
so you're
Hold on,
destroying
hold
your own
on.
argument again.
Hold on, you
Wait,
made
wait,
the
hold on.
argument that all open world games got the same plot.
Yeah,
Then you went.
make it,
Then you went.
you
It's
make
not.
it dead. You make a black and white extreme point. That's your premise. That open world is dead, and then you bring up the exceptional pieces that prove you're wrong. Are you retarded? Oh, you moved to California. Probably is the place getting to you. And all the shit in the air.
But Wisp,
It's a think
like you
piece,
say,
all right?
yeah, like you said, it's all open world games. Then it's just AAA games. And within the next sentence, well, it's not all AAA games. It's like,
Look. The video is not designed to help us. It's also designed to help himself.
I think this is a form of therapy.
He understands too.
Yeah, exactly. He's like trying to figure this out while he's making the video. He's like, wait a second, what the?
yeah. But the thing is, I'm not paid to be anyone's therapist. Like,
He's using his job as therapy.
yeah.
Like the guy from Escapist is telling him that, Yahtzee, you did not publish this shit, right?
Well, listen. It's nice that you write down all these things in your diary. I mean, it'd be crazy if you ever released this on like YouTube. I already hit send. Oh my god! You destroyed the whole channel.
No, you should just try to find his address and mail him a bill. Just
Yeah.
They obviously never gave him any benefits after 15 years of working at the Escapist. It's just money. He's like, I don't know what to do with all this money. Do I go to a therapist? I don't know. Maybe. Make another video this week. Okay, here we go.
should I open a gym
Make a
membership?
video game. If you have that much money, make a video game that you could, in all honesty, give a positive review. Not to push it, but because it's objectively good.
How do you do that?
He'd make a video game about an old jaded video game reviewer, and all it is him just giving bad reviews to stuff.
That would be my goal as a video game critic. If I got the chance to make a video game myself, I would want to not make any of the mistakes I identified over the critic career. Same with movies. As a movie critic, and I'm getting the opportunity to make a big budget movie, I would want to do anything in my power to avoid making all these horrible mistakes that I kept ranting on in other movies. And then probably still make some mistakes. But
Yeah,
I would have such a high bar for making that.
probably have a better understanding too, right?
All right. Well, let's see what he has to say about Grand Theft Auto, because that's apparently the exception to his rule. So.
And Red Dead Redemptions are almost all character-focused narratives about the personal struggles of a jaded anti-hero in a world largely indifferent to their actions. Although note that whenever you start a plot mission in those games, you're almost always locked into it and made unable to interact with the open world or any side content until you've finished the plot mission.
Yeah, because you complained beforehand that the open world messes with stuff, so they found a way to stop it messing with the story missions. Stop complaining. Stop being miserable. You
That doesn't make
hat-wearing twat.
Like,
Those
for
are
example, go save John. Okay, why would I want to go explore somewhere else when I'm supposed to go save John? That's my
here's the
mission.
thing, right? Yeah, but here's the thing. He's just complained that the open world messes with the story. Okay, so Rockstar has now made it so that when you do a story mission, you are locked into a sort of path. You have to go somewhere. Now he's complaining about that. It's like, stop being a fucking contrarian, you prick. Stop being miserable. We get it. You're old. You're bored of your job. Guess what? Everyone gets bored of their fucking job. And everyone gets old. But not everyone's a cynical, nihilistic, hat-wearing cunt who just pretends to be a small little 2D character and thinks Japanese people are white. You're a moron, Yahtzee. Honestly. It's so grating listening to this asshole moan when he's been given the world on a fucking silver platter, and he's not happy. He's just not happy about anything.
We all need to be as miserable as him. Only then there will
He
be
needs
equality.
more.
The only thing he likes, I think, like recently he said, is Undertale. He thinks it's perfect.
Undertale.
Oh God, no!
Undertale. I mean, like when it came out, it was like, yeah, it was pretty fun, but like I wouldn't say it's perfect. Like coming from his mouth,
Yeah,
like that's like kind of like his reasoning of why he never done a 0 punctuation on the game, because he couldn't complain about anything.
Well, didn't he not do a 0 punctuation on Red Dead 2 either? You telling me?
I'm sure he did.
No,
I'm sure he did. That's a very popular.
I haven't seen a Yahtzee video since
I know
2011.
But my thing is, I'm 100% certain. You know, if Red Dead 2 allowed you to run off and do anything during missions, Yahtzee would complain.
And I remember, maybe I remember this wrong, but didn't he at some point say that he only wants to play games with a controller?
No, it
Does
can't
he
be because
dislike
he
that he-
played so many adventure games on PC and DOS.
Yeah, but that was back in the DOS. That's back in the day.
Hey, guess what? I did a search for that Red Dead on Yahtzee. He did the first one, the second one. The first one has almost 2 million views. Second one has 1.6 million. And then there's a video 2 years ago that has almost 30,000 views from Jack. And it's underdeveloped. And he says, Red Dead Redemption 2's slow pace isn't just an aesthetic choice. And I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. But why does Jack have to talk about this game in regards to game reviews? What does Jack actually do on these?
Well, that's like my question for Red Letter Media.
He's an
Yes,
overpaid
it's-
egghead without anything inside.
Oh,
I mean, I'll admit it's a good game, but you know, you do one video on it, and that's it.
what is? I don't even know what underdeveloped would mean in a context of having a show about video games. That sounds like. You imagine saying Red Dead Redemption 2 is underdeveloped? It's like what?
Yeah,
Is that the title of the show?
I think so. Yeah.
If that is the title of the show, it sounds like, oh, I want to make a show about video games. I need to come up with a name that somehow sounds like it has to do with video games. And is ironic. Haha.
Yeah. If all the games I could talk about that so much effort was put into them, Red Dead 2, there's so many pushbacks on the release date and all those patches.
They've added so much
to it. The quality you got on day one was amazing. It was like, holy crap, it looks amazing. To say that was underdeveloped is woo.
Yeah, the thing is, you can literally so much you can do in the damn game, and yeah, well, I've said my piece on it. I think it's. I know there's problems with it, but it will always be in my top 5 games because it's just so good. It's really good. But to say there's anything underdeveloped with it is a bit like you're scraping here.
Yeah, it's probably just the title of a show. Who knows? But I'll check it. I'm curious because Jack is one of those weird offshoots of Red Letter that I don't really listen to, so I'm kind of curious what he has to say about video games because he's the only guy on the show aside from Rich who actually cares about video games. So anyway,
is the only reason he got to the Escapist because he was on Red Letter Media?
I could not tell you.
Probably, yeah.
Don't know.
Because he seemed like he never contributed anything of worth.
Yahtzee and him knew each other personally. That's how.
Okay. Weird.
Anyway, it's just the title. I could be totally wrong. Let's just keep going.
It's almost as if the open world is inconvenient to linear storytelling. Rockstar aside, most games don't have the chops for anything above Marvel movie grade writing, so mainly it's just oppressive threats and plucky resistances, and the same bloody plots inevitably emerge. I mean, not too long ago, around the PS3 era, when everything was third and first-person cover shooters, there were a lot of kind of out-there plots with strong character focus being indulged in games like Time Shift, Inversion, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. Not very good games, but at least they were fun to talk about. The AAA developers of today keep churning out these drearily spectacular open worlds with the same plots and themes and slight gameplay tweaks, because this is what tech has...
Is he complaining about the monomyth?
No.
No offense.
In the end?
No.
Tell me how.
Boil it down.
What is this? Was this Valhalla, this one? Assassin's Creed Valhalla, this one?
Yeah.
Tell me how the plot of Assassin's Creed Valhalla is any way the same as Red Dead Redemption 2.
The point he made was that as a journalist, they were boring for him to talk about unless they were bad, and then he could talk about them in a fun way. I don't know.
What? Really? Again, he's just a nihilist.
My job is so hard because there's nothing fun to talk about or joke about.
Everything boring.
Assassin's Creed, though? Assassin's Creed is terrible to talk about. Everything is shit.
But that's the thing. He'll like that because it's so bad, therefore, or it's fun for him to joke about and make a video.
Okay, so
If
it's
nothing
like,
can stimulate him positively anymore, he will turn to drugs and then die.
Yeah,
of
like
an
I
overdose.
remember he made a great video about Just Cause because that was the funniest thing for him. It's like why is there a zip line that allows you to do anything? A Just Cause, and he just kept going with the joke, and he just ran and ran with that joke for 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
he's clearly seeing
Okay.
this as a he's been doing this for so long. This is how he sees games now. If I can't make a fun joke about it, I'm not going to have a fun job.
Nah, I believe that the real Yahtzee was abducted, and whatever this imposter is like doing a really good
Oh,
job
he's-
at imitating his voice and demeanor.
I've
He's no
seen
robot
people-
lizard like Zuckerberg.
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, like Spud says, this really does just feel like, he's just he's so nihilistic. It's just like he hates everything about
Oh, and-
everything. Like,
And Space Junk in the chat put my thoughts into words. With that is a critique specific to Ubisoft. Why does he present it like every game is like this?
Yeah, I don't think we see Rockstar, Ubisoft, or anyone as the Marvel writers. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that or characterize them as such.
it's like Activision and Infinity Ward.
I can't believe he said that. Rockstar, I think, has one of like top-notch writers doing their thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel, who would they hire to write the
Right.
jokes?
Like we could say, what's her name from Uncharted? What was her name? Amy Hennig?
Amy Henning.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you could say, okay, she wrote blockbuster style stories that probably weren't that detailed, but they sold well. The stories were enough for people to get invested in the characters and what they were trying to do. And then she got fired. So it's like, okay, well, was she a good writer for what she was doing? Yeah, she was great. Maybe not, if she wrote a book, but nonetheless, she's the
To
one who
this
put.
day, I have absolutely no idea why she was fired.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because
Who again?
feminism.
What? I just zoned out.
Oh, we're talking
Amy
about
Henning.
Uncharted, Naughty Dog,
Oh,
Amy Hennig.
oh yeah. Well, because she was in the way of Druckmann's
Maybe, yeah.
nonsense crap.
Maybe, yeah.
No. That really was the actual reason. It wasn't. It's not maybe. It really was because I think he's gone down and said it as well that he got rid of her.
He wanted to do more left-leaning crap, therefore
And therefore
Yeah,
he
yeah.
threw out the woman.
threw out the girl
Yeah.
who made the game company what it was.
He threw out a successful, credible woman in video games.
Wow.
Yes.
Because he wanted to fuck himself in the ass in the video
No,
game
no,
and
no.
want everyone to see it.
No, which,
To pay money to see it.
no, hold on. He did it because he wanted to impress Anita.
Yes,
Oh.
because all
It
video
really
games
is a
are
religion.
sexist, transphobic. You need to
Yeah.
get out.
I'm not even joking. It was seriously. He did.
Remember that stupid book that she wrote, Stereotyped or something, video game trope? I can't remember.
She
what it
wrote a
was called,
book?
The reason,
Uh,
but the reason
Yeah, it was something fucking stupid.
rid of her, yeah. The reason he got rid of her is because what was the writer called again? And what was the name?
Amy Hennig.
Yeah, that one. It was the fact that she was looking over one of because Druckmann was writing parts of The Last of Us Part 2 and stuff like that, and she was like, this doesn't sound that good. And because Druckmann literally wrote The Last of Us Part 2 as like a love letter to Anita Sarkeesian, he got rid of her because the other
She was in
writers-
a way.
Yeah. I'm not
And
even
Bruce Straley, he got out before he was credited on that shit too.
well, either
Yeah,
way,
And then these very same leftists complain that women have it so hard in the video game industry and are discriminated against.
well, either way, the genre she was
Fucking
writing for,
hypocrisy.
you could say, was done well. Like we're comparing this to blockbuster movies, so it's the same concept of having an Indiana Jones style game
The
or
genre,
story.
maybe, but not that game specifically.
Well, yeah, obviously games are longer than a movie, so there's much more content to write about and
That's
characters.
not what I was saying.
I'm just saying in relation to her being a
Why
good
are
writer.
you always talking about something else?
Because I'm not you. I don't know. It's,
It's like you'd never understand what I am actually talking about.
this is a good point. This is partially true, yes, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not that smart, so anyway.
I don't think it's about
Wow.
smarts.
Anyway,
Anyway, as we move on.
let's go.
been working since the beginning, and no one knows what the hell else they're supposed to do now. The AAA industry is practically built on being able to wow us with bigger, more impressive locales and expansive gameplay, and sell us whichever expensive graphics cards they're in bed with now. And we've reached the limit. Games just can't get any bigger.
That has nothing to do...
Oh, I'm sure you'll
That's what you think.
What does that mean? Like, there's like a difference between like a strive, an ambition to like make a game bigger, and just like making use of the existing formula that we have already. Like, it doesn't mean that like we can't make like the same sized game.
No,
just Mark, roll with
it. He's given up. Everyone else should give up. That's his point.
Yeah,
I've seen this sentiment a lot as well. Like, oh, games are as good as they're ever gonna look. There's nowhere to go, and then the next year a new game comes out and it looks better than the ones before.
That's what they said around the PS3 era.
He has no standard, and he has no drive for excellence.
Yeah,
and,
you know what this reminds me of?
Going boldly where no one has gone before.
Well, we're talking about, he says size, the size. You know how big games are? We're going to keep buying bigger and bigger hard drives to download bigger and bigger games. And,
yeah, well, that's just textures.
No, it's everything.
Something like GTA 5 takes forever to make.
Yeah.
And if you want to make something better than GTA 5, something bigger and more complex with more stuff in it, it will probably take even longer.
But it took 8 years to create Red Dead 2.
Yeah, he is completely not thinking about the future of the next 5-10 years of VR or AR or
what's that Unreal Engine thing that everyone's been going crazy about with the Matrix?
Oh, that.
What? But I'm being honest here. You know what Yahtzee reminds me of? He reminds me of all those people in the 80s who, whenever they thought of the future, could never imagine technology better than what they had in the 80s.
Oh yeah, we're never going to have smartphones like we have on Star Trek or whatever.
It's everything. It's like. He's exactly like the people who went, this is it. This is as far as technology is going to go. Like in 1988. And it's like, but looking back now, you're like, wow, you were so wrong. This is what it feels like. It feels like he's literally just gone, no, that's it. We've reached it. This cannot get any better. Because his mind can't comprehend it.
Like how all the tech in the Aliens movies still looked like it was from the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he is, in the end, not a creative person.
No,
I don't know if it's creativity or understanding of what he's saying, because clearly,
yeah, like it's his point. It's his point that it should stop here. Should we just continue to improve what we already have, or that's the thing. He's not really expanding on that.
To be honest with you, I'm at the point now where I'm like, Yahtzee, either buy the rope or just get happier. Just
you know what this is. He's the self-proclaimed progressive, because that's the bullshit he's spouting, the insane bullshit. He's a progressive who doesn't believe that things can get better. Then why move forward?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I just
why not stop here? Stop all your bullshit policies. They can't make things better because we know they won't make things better. But
think of the next Elder Scrolls. It's going to be bigger than Skyrim. It's going to be. It has to be.
What, bigger than Morrowind?
It's going to be. Yeah, it's huge. It's going to be. All these games are going to get bigger and better. That's how games are made nowadays. They just keep getting better than what they came before.
Yeah, it just blows my mind when because with this video, you've got to start thinking with Yahtzee. It's either he can't imagine anything because he's not creative and he's just like his brain has reached the limit of what he can expect, right? B, he's such a cynical nihilist, he literally longs for his own death because he hates everything. Or C, he's both, and it just means he's in this constant state of he hates everything, doesn't want anything to progress, but everything gets better, and he starts to like a few things, and it all messes up his head, and he's like, oh my god, my head's going crazy, Japanese people are white, it just melts everything. Those are like the three options here, because there's no logic.
Yahtzee, just go camping, just clear your head, enjoy the nature, drink some water.
Take a break.
Yeah. And if you come to the conclusion, after doing all this, that you still want to die, then stop drinking water.
Well,
And if by day 2 or 3 you realize, oh fuck, but I really want to drink water, then your urge to survive is bigger than your wish to end yourself.
I think that'll take about 3 days. Throw him into the wilderness, he'll be fine. He'll figure it out really quick.
I think the best thing he can do is go on a 6-month break where he doesn't create anything, because the escapists will have him back. You know, he's not going to lose his job there.
Well, no, the escapist will cease to be if he's not there for more than 3 months.
Yeah, but then they can come back and they can start.
Just take a week vacation. I don't know.
Is he sticking with the escapist, knowing that this thing only survives because he is there and holds it up, and that all of these people will be unemployed and lose all their income if he goes, and that would be very, very anti-socialist? He's just staying there out of solidarity.
I could see them guilting him over that.
Yeah.
You can't leave Yahtzee. You're the only videos that get views on our channel.
You're the only reason we can afford our luxurious apartments in these sticky shitholes in California.
I hope
and all these Starbucks drinks and the avocados.
Anyway.
How else will I feed these 2 African children I kidnapped avocados if Yahtzee doesn't create more escapist content?
But they're not African, Hawk. They're white people.
Yeah, Yahtzee, you have no obligation to these people. If you hate this job, then just stop it. Let them figure out how to make something worthwhile themselves.
Yeah.
Yahtzee, the channel's going to die either way. You might as well get out.
Yeah, you're in your mid-40s. Start enjoying your life. Don't.
Yeah. You've worked so hard. You're obviously suffering at this point.
Yeah, I feel really bad for them. I'm just like, man, just.
Yeah, I don't want you to get a blood clot and then it starts to go into your brain.
Yeah. What a waste!
Get your money. Get the fuck out of California.
Yeah.
And leave the escape.
California.
I mean, it's hard to touch grass in California. You the leftists keep telling people to touch grass, but I would not recommend it, because first, grass seems to be hard to find in California. It's on fire all the time, and you might accidentally touch some human feces. So maybe just move out of California before that.
Okay.
Move to somewhere with some pines or something.
Anyway, 2 minutes left. Let's go.
Like Florida.
That, of course, games could get bigger. Just Cause 2's map is the equivalent of 35 square miles. Make one that's 70 square miles. Bam! Bigger game. There's still no open world where you can enter every single building in a full-sized city and find each one populated by completely unique NPCs, each with their own dialogue and side quests. Currently available technology might even be capable of that, but the thing is, while the technical barrier has been removed, there's a limit to how much content you can put in a game before it stops benefiting from it.
It might not be mega cities, but I think in Breath of the Wild you can enter every building.
Well, we have people...
You could technically do it in a lot of the Elder Scrolls games as well.
Right, but people have been playing online MMOs for decades, so they're still there. They're still going on quests. They're still part of their clan. You know, there's still content coming out every few months. So
and sometimes beyond the game, because sometimes like many of our old World of Warcraft guilds, they only kept playing the game to stay in touch with the people. So it was just the glorified chat client with that you paid a subscription for, until we moved out of the game proper, set up channels outside of the game, and thus can stay in touch and just play other games too now. But the friendships that were built in those games, they still exist.
I feel like a big source of this hatred of open world games we're seeing with a lot of professional reviewers on YouTube, like Yahtzee and that other guy we covered a while ago. I can't remember his name.
I know exactly what you talk about, because he doesn't like open world.
Rasputin?
Or something. Yeah, he just doesn't like open world games. Yeah, anyway, carry on.
I think a big source of this is Metal Gear Solid 5 came out. It was an open world game when it probably shouldn't have been, because Metal Gear Solid's gameplay doesn't benefit from it. And so people are like, well, this open world game was bad and was supposed to be super good. So clearly open world is the problem.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. My counter argument to Yahtzee is we still haven't had this game, and Mark says, is there's There's also this thing called the real world where you can enter any building. You just don't. There's certain places you don't actually just enter. So it's not out of the realms not to enter every single fucking building in a video game.
Like again, I agree with the point that not every game is going to benefit from you being able to enter every room in every single building.
Yeah.
That's a fine point. But that's not going to say that every game wouldn't benefit from the immersion that would bring.
Yeah. But he seems to be very onto this point of I want to enter every building. It's like, Yahtzee, are you trying to tell us something?
I think that's just a side complaint of you're not perfect.
I want to enter buildings in Spider-Man. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, not really. That's just stupid. It's like I just want to swing around the city.
You just want to stare into all the bathrooms.
Yeah, shoot my web.
Shoot my web into all the bathrooms. Oh.
Anywho.
Overall. Plus, it's become very clear in recent times that there's a hard limit on how much human beings can create within a viable time frame.
That is just the confines of a poorly scheduled project, which, as we know, you can release products, especially with downloadable content or updates, and you can make your life cycle a lot smaller. So,
didn't also the difference? They also mentioned about the difference between CDK Projekt and Rockstar is the fact that Rockstar actually rewarded their workers for working 100-hour weeks at the end of the development. And then
also, they actually worked on it for 7 years.
Naughty Dog just
Cyberpunk
fired
didn't
instead,
do that.
Yeah, Naughty Dog just fired them, and CDK Projekt just I don't know what they did because
they only began working like 4 years before release.
Yeah.
And Naughty Dog wasted a lot of time because Neil Druckmann's psychopathic narcissism. They had to
restart.
They had to revamp the whole game.
And he controls the management there like a Mean Girls squad.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, so yeah, there's also in every job you work, you sometimes have to work long hours, and you work. There's a thing called overtime. It's a funny little thing. You'll not know
every
about
job has it, especially on the holidays.
Yeah, it's crazy, but Yahtzee wouldn't know about it because he's worked a fucking cushy job for 15 fucking years.
All these games journalists that complain about crunch have never worked a real job.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Because why is it that only recently crunch as a thing has become a topic to talk about?
Well,
I think because it's just in the video game industry, it can be more on software development in general. It can be much more extreme than in other fields.
It comes down. Of course,
but
I know that
weren't that much coverage for it beforehand. That's why I'm saying
it's the virtue signaling today.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
No one just found something to whine about.
The employees of the industry.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, no one is up there moaning about the fact that when I do my deliveries for alcohol on special occasions like New Year's, Christmas, and everything like that, my hours are meant to finish at 5, and I'm still out at 9 o'clock. I'm not getting paid overtime. It's just the fact that I have to work those hours, otherwise customers don't get served. No one complains about that. But oh no, a software developer has to work, a couple of extra hours a week to make this video game.
You're going to see any of these people complain about the Amazon employees that get them all their shit.
Yeah.
They even did that with a Sonic movie, and those people didn't even complain. The workers weren't even bothered by it. They were like, "Oh, sweet, more money."
I have
those 100 hours
isn't just was a PR stunt.
It isn't just spent with working. It's you can't just do 100 hours of computer programming for that long.
It fries your brain. Because mental work wears you out much quicker, requires much more energy than physical work.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like masturbation.
There's two major elements to overtime. There's the actual feature creep where the design gets too big and too ambitious, and they try to implement it. And there's QA where the existing thing is not functioning properly, and they have to flatten it out, kill the bugs to make sure whatever was supposed to be working is doing the thing without crashing or doing something extraneous.
Oh yeah, and when your management doesn't plan in a bug fixing day, it will never be done.
Well, yeah, we have proper life cycle schedules these days, so most people within the past 12, 15 years should know them by now. And you put that into account. So when you say this is going to take 2 years, it's usually like the year and a half is just pure work. And then the last...
Bad management. Bad management still doesn't.
Yeah, the last quarter is just, marketing, bug testing, polish. And even after, like nowadays, it's normal to have, day one patches and 6-month patches and whatever. So that's just the nature of the industry whenever you're making software. It's not just for gaming. Gaming is just the most intense because it's so high level. It has all kinds of moving parts, all kinds of technology that's cutting edge. So it has to sell.
And I assume
there's another problem with that. There's another problem with bad management that can also happen. This happened with Alpha Protocol. If you watch RaceFX video on it, where they shelved the game for 6 months because they pushed it back, but they didn't give Obsidian more money to work on it.
That was the publisher's issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were skeptical. They wanted to pull the plug, and then it came back. Yeah. The amount of work those guys did was amazing. Like, it was only a small team, and it was impressive what they could do with the planning they had in mind. So,
and the fact that they were working in a completely unfamiliar engine in a style of game they don't usually make.
Right, and to have Chris Avallone pioneering the thing, and everyone sort of agreeing with him, even though the thing was buggy and broken in places, which most of these games from Obsidian tend to be. It's still all their games. It's still one of those titles that I go back to if I could find it anymore and reminisce.
It's on Steam.
They killed it off Steam. It's no longer.
I have it on Steam.
When did you buy it?
Yes, if you buy it, then it's gonna stay there, but no one else can buy it.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it too long ago. I think it was only a couple of years ago I got it.
Yes. They took it down 2 years ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
I didn't know.
I got a pirate.
Sega put because of licensing issues for music, I believe.
It's a dumb reason, and everyone's sad because there are all these classics that people don't know about that Obsidian made or Avallone was involved with, or who knows. And we're never going to get them again. We're never going to get an Alpha Protocol 2.
Not to mention, Avallone's name in the industry kind of got trashed after he got Me Too'd.
Not really. I mean, yeah, that started for about, I think, 2-3 months, and after that, he came out a year later on his blog.
He came out, but we haven't really seen the industry react to him coming out.
Yeah, but this is just women being women and freaking out and getting their 5 minutes of fame. And
wow, sex.
Women being the women.
You get someone popular.
Boys.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what happens all the time. There's a popular guy. They flirt him up. They take him out, and he's like, "Okay, this is getting weird." And
I mean, from what I can tell, it looks like the girl who accused him was just jealous of the girl he was dating.
Exactly. Yeah, that was it. And I was like, "Holy crap, this is weird." I'd be kind of
that sounds like girls being girls.
Yeah, it's a really funny read because he was like, "I didn't want to." He didn't want to because Avallone's a nice guy. He doesn't want to bash anyone, but because his reputation was getting hit, he's like, all right, fine, I'll talk about it.
Wait. Nice guy or decent guy?
Wisp, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Decent person.
He's a nice
Chris Avallone really doesn't
person.
like causing conflict.
Nice guy's a very loaded term.
Alrighty, fine, never mind.
Like
the opposite.
Even though Techland fired him based off of these accusations, he's still kind of been pushing Dying Light 2 quite a bit and saying people should get it.
Yeah, he's really excited about it. I was glad to hear about it finally getting a real release date. So, yeah.
Bit on a side note, in case you're looking for jobs, you may not want to believe it, but there are government positions, government jobs that are doing overtime all the time because they need to get the work done and they just have too much of it. Partially because also bad management and too few people hired. And that is, I know this in Germany from the social ministries and from the courts, massively in the courts.
I mean,
they can't get the work done simply because it's too much.
I mean, my school, the county I'm in, Volusia County, the school county is doing so bad with the transportation department. They basically have nobody because everyone's quitting because they're not paying them more, despite the whole COVID thing, and it's pretty terrible.
Oh yeah, now you got the COVID thing going on.
Yeah, it's strange. These government, especially the socialist governments, they always want the social state for everyone, but then don't even pay their government workers enough.
That's true, Wisp. Okay, let's keep going.
Yes.
While still the game and the dev team's physical well-being stable. Thinking of you, Cyberpunk. The notion that the progress of video games is tied to the game worlds getting bigger and better looking was always unsustainable. Juvenile, really. Like insisting a book is better because it has more pages.
No, that's not at all.
No, look. In the end, bigger and more beautiful is nice, but in the end, we care about the content.
Yeah, so the argument is quality over quantity, or this or that, depending on the size. We have enough pipelines, if people would just use them, to make content at 4K res and open world and 4,000.
It's like, I'm sorry to say this, but a game like Red Dead 2 exists. Games should now be trying to get up to that level.
Yeah. I think it set a standard.
If you're gonna make an open world, if you're worse than a game that came out, like Red Dead or even like the GTA, but you want to be, or even The Witcher, let's just say something for a shorter time period. You know what I mean? There's a set thing you've got to reach.
Yeah, and we're talking about the quality, not just size and beauty. The
This is
actual
why-
quality of the content, the storylines, the interactions in the world, the how alive the world is, how interactive the world is, and the size doesn't matter. It matters what you do with it.
Right.
I think part of what Yahtzee is talking about here is there's a lot of people who do complain when a game is really short, but there's still a reason for that. If a game is short, you might not be getting the bang for your buck.
Right, and this is why whenever we hear someone like Todd Howard or Peter Molyneux say obscure, like over-the-top things, you're like, okay, come on, that's, can you really do that?
If a game like New Vegas came out, but it only had like 2 hours worth of content, do you think you'd really want to pay $60 for that?
Well, no, that's what I mean is that when they make these grandiose claims, and you're like, okay, these are the creators of Cyberpunk or the creators of Witcher 3. You're like, okay, I can put my faith in CD Projekt Red, and then they make Cyberpunk, and you're like, oh wow, that was.
It's like, no offense, no one got surprised when Fable 3 didn't live up to what was said beforehand because everyone expected it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Peter Molyneux is a bit of a whack job. That's true. Todd Howard's reputation is just hilarious. Like, I don't know what to think of the guy anymore. He's just up and down.
I mean, Molyneux is
just works, bud.
He's a wonderfully creative guy, but he tends to not finish the games he's making.
Oh,
The way I feel about Todd Howard is I don't actually think he's an unpassionate guy. I think he's passionate about the games he makes. I think Bethesda's problem is almost entirely on Emil.
Yeah.
16 times the lies.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, to look at Todd Howard's reputation, you've got to see it at 16 times the detail because it's very small right now.
okay.
But now that he's a Microsoft employee,
300
now that
endings.
he's working for Microsoft, it's going to get...
Emil is the one who's the problem behind the writing, which I think is
Yeah.
Bethesda's biggest problem.
No, but I think Bethesda's biggest problem is they're too busy trying to copy Watchmen. I think if game developers
Watchmen the game?
Watchmen ruined video gaming. That's what I think.
Because the Elder Scrolls is now just a deconstruction of itself.
The Elder Scrolls is a deconstruction of a deconstruction.
Entry is just a deconstruction of a deconstruction.
Stop hurting me.
Hey,
Which is also a
that
satire.
wasn't his main point, all right?
Oh, no.
So you got it wrong anyway.
It was just
His main-
style.
Yeah, it was just
Oh
like-
god, I feel
Stop.
bad.
Even I'm getting sick of that. Oh, God.
Listen, I've got some material now. I'm going to use it.
Okay.
If you don't want me to make fun of it, don't say stupid shit.
All right. Anyway.
This is the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah, but to go back to the actual point, Yahtzee, seriously,
We get it. Size isn't everything.
Yeah, size and everything.
It's all about the motion of the ocean.
Yeah, we all get told
Hawk's
this
gonna
from
bring the
team
rope.
members. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the rope. You bring the wine. We'll have some fun.
Okay, less than 2 minutes. Let's go.
Or a film is, because it's 4 hours long. Where we are now in video gaming's history is the equivalent of where movies were when Hollywood was making those hugely expensive epics with thousands of extras, like Cleopatra and Ben-Hur.
Really?
So now we need a similar sea change to what movies had in the mid to late 20th century, when the bloat and spectacle and the gimmick...
There's a very large gap.
No.
There's a very fucking large gap.
We're not.
Completely.
Oh, they're still doing that. What are you talking about?
We are in the 1960s of movies, guys. That's where video games are.
This is
Yeah,
such
but the
bullshit,
thing is,
man.
he went.
That is complete bullshit.
Yeah, but he's gone like from the 1960s to 2010s. There's 50 odd years of stuff
This
in
is-
between.
This is a brain dead comparison, because where the movie industry is, the movie industry is currently copying the video game industry, because the video game industry, especially in 2000 to 2010, was just massively increasing effects, 3D graphics, and so on. All of that, massive difference between 2000 and 2010.
Yeah.
And what Hollywood did was replace everything with CGI. Better graphics, next action movie, better graphics. And what video games did, as well as what Hollywood's doing, is ignore the writing or respectively the gameplay during that time. Because, oh, look, better graphics. And we are now hitting a point, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great example of this, where, okay, we have great graphics, we have this great world now. Like, look, that mountain over there. You can walk up there. It's not just a skybox. And there's good writing on top of it all. Good writing, good gameplay, good graphics, all in one. Basically the unicorn game.
Even on its face, this statement is flat out fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
he's completely
there's-
misunderstood.
There's so many amazing games that still come out. Like, Nier Automata was amazing too. And it's unique as a game. Its storytelling from Nier Automata wouldn't work in a movie.
Yeah, and that game was empty as well on purpose, that open world, because it's the post-apocalypse. No
I
one's
think
alive.
Yahtzee's view of the gaming industry is just completely poisoned because he just keeps playing awful shit.
I'm still under the impression his mentality is because if he can't make a video next week, it's a bad game or it's a bad design for a game because he can't joke about it or whatever.
But I'm now good to the point of
You can joke about good games. I don't know.
Yeah, you can, but I'm just like, Yahtzee, just stop. I just feel this whole beforehand, the cynical nihilist guy from Zero Punctuation was like obviously a character he did. Now it's just him, and I just feel that it's just consumed him to the point where it really is like, just take a fucking break, man. You don't have to do this all the time. Just take a short break.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I think the cynicism has eaten away at his persona.
Do something happy that fulfills you. And if you don't know what that is, go try things.
Yeah.
Try a new thing every week.
Or start
Didn't
eating
he make-
cheese. That's a good start, yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
that's the thing.
Or just make love to somebody. Do something. I don't anything.
Even if it's your right
Hey,
hand.
listen to healthy gamers and pro gamers for one. Listen to gamers when they say you need a healthy balance in your life. You need to do sports. You need to eat well, because the pro gamers, they play a long time a day, but they know they can't only do that. They need to take care of their health. That also includes mental health. And Yahtzee isn't doing any of that. He is basically talking like a disillusioned couch potato.
Well, he'd have to possibly read some Jordan Peterson and pet some cats and clean his room. And
Yeah, but that's... Oh, but from his point of view, Jordan Peterson is the devil.
possibly. We're
So
not
he
sure,
can't do
yeah.
what Jordan Peterson says. He has to do the opposite of what Jordan Peterson
What
says.
about Jesse Peterson?
Didn't Yahtzee review? Didn't Yahtzee do a zero punctuation on Silent Hill 2, which was reportedly his favorite game for a while?
Yeah, he loves Silent Hill. Yeah.
I don't know.
And Alan Wake, I think.
Oh, but isn't that long ago?
I wish I could send him to fucking Silent Hill, how fucking miserable he is. Fucking cheer him up a little bit.
I
feel like Yahtzee's comedy shtick is him stringing together various swears and dirty slang to make an insult.
Talking really fast.
And sometimes I wonder if I should attach my testicles to the electrode just to find a little bit of joy inside one of Yahtzee videos. But then I realised, no, I don't really like that sort of stuff. See, everyone can do it. Every British person can do it. You're not special, Yahtzee. Stop being miserable.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever he tries to do something that's not that, I think there's probably a big portion of his fan base that go, "This isn't good. This isn't a good video, Yahtzee. It's not. It doesn't feel like zero punctuation."
Yeah, I think he's ran out of material years ago. He can't make any Marmite jokes or Bellin jokes or whatever. So it's time to take. I think it's time to take a vacation.
What he could do is do something reasonable. As Legacy in the chat pointed out, video games now are loot boxes and battle royales, and that is something to complain about,
for a
because
time,
loot boxes is anti-consumer. He could take a pro-consumer stance like Total Biscuit did. But he's not. He's just shitting on games because I guess he hates games now or something. I don't know.
Or like Jim Sterling pretends he does.
Well, we're not sure about Jimmy, Jennifer, whatever, Stephanie.
Jamie.
He did not change his brand name. That still is Jim Sterling because he fears he loses people over that or whatever. So I do not consider him genuine and never will, because this guy is just a fetishist.
I honestly would have renamed him Jimmy Gibbs Jr.
Why doesn't he change it? We're supposed to be accepting, right?
Fuck you.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Gave way to filmmaking based around high-concept ideas and auteur directors. Something's got to give. Even the oblivious CEOs in their tower of money and tax loopholes will notice if the returns stop reflecting the soul-destroying effort going into these massive...
Wait. By that logic, your stupid social justice-infested games should not be made anymore. The movies should not be made anymore. There are entire companies killing themselves with this shit, yet they keep making them. Why is that, Yahtzee? Tell me, why is that? Why do they keep making stuff that kills them?
I'm sorry, he's gone on about other stuff, yet he praised indie games. Last time I checked, indie games don't rake in that money.
What did you say? You're far away from the mic.
Oh, sorry. He was praising indie games earlier. They did open world stuff. I'm pretty sure indie games don't rake in that much money. Vast majority of it.
No.
So why is money now the main thing? Yahtzee.
He's not making any. I don't know.
Open world indie games.
Yeah, he talks about indie games. Indie games.
Open world indie games. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, in the middle of the video, he mentioned that like indie games tend to do open world much better than some AAA games.
Yeah,
I didn't give examples, but yeah, that's
because that is a very strange combination.
Oh, Wisp, he's a moron. I can't help you understand Yahtzee when Yahtzee doesn't understand himself.
All right, here is Louis Seems Gay. Thanks for the one. This man needs a Kiki's delivery service moment where he retreats into the woods for a while and then recenters himself. Like you'd probably hate the medium of television if you were watching no non-stop reality shows. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, God. Oh, you mean like we should all get into the woods for a while to mature?
Not in the winter, but yes.
And sing songs?
Sure, whatever.
Sing around the campfire.
There's nothing wrong with doing the New Game Plus version.
Bring some fresh...
Yahtzee just needs to stop playing bottom of the bargain bin trash.
No, well, he's critiquing open world games, which are huge. And he doesn't like them because they're redundant or whatever. And you're like, okay, dude, that's not your thing.
Yeah, but he's only talking about Ubisoft games, which lately have been pretty shit.
He's also mentioned Rockstar, so I'll give him that. But I will say one thing: I don't think Yahtzee should go into the woods camping or anything, because he seems like the kid that at one of these like camps was probably felt up by one of the counselors.
Oh, okay.
So I think camping might bring back a PTSD incident.
I
And he
think
might get bored.
Does he
They're
still
gonna make a Red Dead.
Does
joke.
he still wear the not the trilby? Is it the fedora? Is that his signature thing?
Fedora, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you now that he's in his mid-40s, he still wears it because he's got no hair. I bet you he still wears it.
He does not wear it, but he did put on some pounds, I would say. Like
Really?
his face
I
is
thought-
like closer to Bob's now.
Oh, does the hat even fit?
Not as much, but like he's going towards that.
It looks like a Jew cap at that point.
All right. Anyway, let's keep
You
going.
put on some quarter pounders, if you understand what I mean.
Ooh.
Okay.
For games, and then it's just a matter of who blinks first. Someone takes a risk, kicks the $100 million open world in the head, and splits them into 4 $25 million projects with dedicated teams and more focused design.
$25 million for an open world game.
Yahtzee, you're calling yourself a games journalist, but you don't. This is not how it works.
An
Oh
open world,
my
not to
god.
mention, an open world game doesn't necessarily not have a focused
Yeah,
design.
just because the amount of money does not mean how focused it is. You could have two guys. You could have two guys making a game, and those two guys could be the most unfocused people in the history of the world.
You
What
do
are you
need
a basic
prominent primary gameplay that
Yeah,
you need.
but Wisp, why would 100 million game, like, there's been loads of them that have been 100 million games that have got like a prime game
Didn't
mechanic.
he just want to pay pocket money, like 25 million?
He just wants to pay 25 cents to people because he hates the workers. I don't know. I don't care. He's an idiot. That's it. That's
His
all.
ideology does hate the workers, yes.
He's a cynical old man who hates everything, and he's realized the world's passing them by, and he just doesn't like it. God, just get your bus pass and fuck off, Yahtzee. You're crap. You're just honestly.
I am surprised how little he understands the video game industry, especially if he's making a game himself.
Yeah, you can't just say, oh, this game's going to cost 100 million. Well, why don't we cut it into 4 for 25 million and we can make 4 games? No.
No, I don't think that was what he was trying to say.
Well, I do like the fact that big game companies like Riot Games are doing smaller projects, mobile projects that are different than their standard model. So they are, these big companies are doing different things. So that may not be the same genre he's referring to, but at least they're exploring and trying to experiment. So
Okay, that's fine. It's just the fact that it's just a bit like, this is not how things work. Games have a budget, and you work within your budget.
yeah, it's the same concept with making a next FIFA game. He's like, oh, we only have 10 million. It's like, that's not a FIFA game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, because if you run out of that budget, you end up with Vampire Bloodlines and the first one, which is a wonderful game, but it's unfinished.
Yeah.
Or Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, it's just.
Game is unfinished. No, that doesn't have a proper ending.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad, because otherwise these are beautiful games.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, almost done.
Principles and makes absolute gobloads of cash. A new wave of risk-taking artistry at the highest levels. A stop to the constant push.
I find it funny that he's talking about the risky products like Obsidian does. Planescape Torment, New Vegas, all these games we love that we know are great that didn't make any money. They didn't turn a profit.
Not to mention, he has repeatedly given Nintendo shit for trying to revolutionize gaming with games like with consoles like the Wii and stuff. Because he's like, well, it's not broken, so don't try to fix it. He was one of the people who was constantly saying that during the Wii era.
He doesn't have a clue what he's talking about right now. He is just saying words that he thinks will bamboozle his audience. because he just thinks his audience are a bunch of idiots. And I
Which
honestly
they probably are. I mean,
because you can't say, "Oh, I want innovation, but I don't want open worlds that get bigger, better, and everything like that." What do you want? What the fuck do you actually want?
Also, like, is he like seriously thinking that like now, if after his grand speech, people are gonna go back from the graphics? Because like once you go to that setting, that like you have that standard, that you like have like that kind of detail in your video games, they're not going to go degrade themselves back. There's gonna be indie titles, but they will always strive to like give even more to the consumers than ever. They're always going to try to push the boundaries that what they can do, because that's what the industry is about. If you're not going to like show up something new, then people are not gonna be interested in.
Not to mention, just because something is new and innovative doesn't mean it's going to be good. But also, just because something is old and tested, tried, doesn't also mean it's going to be good. But also doesn't mean it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Nintendo had a lot of failures in their research and development, and that's okay, because that is what usually happens. Most of your ideas turn out to be not really viable. But like they have been the one company that has been pushing innovation the most.
Like the N64 disk drive. That was a failure.
Yeah.
There was supposed to also be an upgrade station for the Super Nintendo that was supposed to have a CD-ROM drive.
Right.
But also the Famicom in Japan had a thing called the Satellaview, which was basically game streaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of things Nintendo did that was trying. Like they always were pushing the envelope with hardware. Like there was that Boktai for the Game Boy. That was the game that you could sense the sun. That would determine how your game is played. There was the Virtua Boy. There was
Pokemon Gold and Silver had the kept real time.
Oh, it's the time of day.
It had time sensitive events.
Right. So I mean, this is Nintendo. What they always do, and they don't care about how powerful the hardware is. They care about making the thing they want to make. So
they did care about how powerful the hardware is. The Super Nintendo was the racing horse at the time, but the relevant aspect is that they, and I will always give them credit for it, they were always trying out something new, even if I didn't like some of the things that stuck. Like I bloody despise the Wii controller because it's this blocky television remote with barely any buttons on it. I despise that bloody thing. But they've been pushing new technologies and looking for new ways of video gaming, and that is amazing. Yeah, they're not just sitting there making the same game all over again. Like they've done it a little more lately, but up until I think Mario Galaxy 2, every Mario game was different, had new mechanics in it.
Some people, I don't agree with this. Yahtzee is one of them. Will say that the Legend of Zelda games have all been the same game since Ocarina of Time until Breath of the Wild.
No.
I know. It's a fucking ridiculous statement.
Four Swords, Minish Cap.
Like, yeah, they follow a similar formula usually, but that doesn't mean they're the same.
It's the same with
Faces
Mario.
of Evil.
The thing is, they were all evolving. They were adding new mechanics. And that is what many games today never do.
But people want that formula. They want the Mario platforming formula.
The basic formula,
yeah.
The basic formula is there. Basic formula remains. But on top of that, they put a spin.
Exactly. That's all that Zelda and Mario games have been, and it works.
It's similar to Kirby games.
Oh yeah, that's right.
First Kirby game, it's just a jump and run, and you inhale enemies, and then you spit them out for range damage. Second Kirby game, Kirby can now copy powers of certain enemies and use their skills. And I don't know if that was already the one, Dreamland 2. Or if there was one in between that already had the powers. But Dreamland 2 already had 3 special friends that you could have. And if you, like animal companions, and if you had the power plus the animal companion, the power would work differently. Like you wouldn't just dash like a fireball. If you had the hamster, you'd be breathing fire. If you had the owl, you would do the fireball dash diagonally downwards. And things like that. And then in Kirby's Fun Pack, I think in English it's Kirby Superstar, you could make a second player available by sacrificing the power you had and summoning that NPC that then either was AI controlled or a second player could control. And that game had, from all the Kirby games I have played, the most work put into all of those powers, as every power had a move list that you could look up. Every power had 5, 6, 7, sometimes 12 different moves.
The Kirby on the N64.
Wonderful.
The Kirby on the N64, I can't remember the name of it. That one had it so that if you had two powers, you could combine them and make them into something else.
Yeah. Still like, same basic game, but every time a twist.
Alrighty. 30 seconds.
Sorry, I was interrupting you.
For better graphics hardware, video card manufacturers switch to building moon colonies, a new age of prosperity for the human race, until Earth disappears into one of the abysmal suction cups on the tentacles of the eternal space octopus. I don't know, do I? I can't even predict where the last step's going to be when I'm going down a staircase.
Hopefully that's the step that
I believe you.
It's 14.
How can you say that Link to the Past, and Ocarina of Time are the same kind of game? Like, what the hell?
No, it was every game after Ocarina of Time.
No, I wouldn't even say that.
All right, let's see if we got any stream memes. We do. Look at that. Okay. Hawk right now. Stop having autism. What? Okay. Eric, would you be the villain destroying the world, me doing side quests and helping NPCs?
Yeah.
This is a thing, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's genuinely a big problem in a lot of open world games.
Yeah, well, that's a writing.
About it before I got on.
Yeah, but that's a writing problem.
Oh, thanks for saving me. Many of my men are still missing. Could you? Sorry, I have AR missions to do.
Yep.
Actually, on a side note, I do want to say, Smud was talking about how the looking for a Siri quest was a bit too pressing in Witcher 3. I actually feel like it did it kind of fine, because part of that was looking for Siri, so you can make the excuse that while you're exploring, you're looking for hints of where Siri is.
Yes, that's true at the start, and then like a few hours later, you know it's the Red Baron, so you just follow the main clues, and then it's just like okay, well,
yeah, but after the Red Baron, you've got another trail to follow that you can start to explore again, and then there are sections of the games where it still does feel appropriate to go and do side quests because you kind of need to.
Yeah, it wasn't as meshed in as it should have been, but yeah, you're right. There are some generic clues.
Definitely not as bad as something like Fallout 4, where your infant child is missing and you're looking for it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, good luck.
But you're too busy looking for screws in a fucking ruined building.
No, you're too busy dodging Preston Garvey because another Minuteman outpost has been attacked.
Okay.
And you're just like,
I'm looking on your map.
Oh my god.
Here's another Eric meme.
Eric's in a lot. So
girlfriend, let's go out this weekend. Me. Picture of Tom Cruise, multiple Tom Cruises in cowboy hats playing Red Dead Redemption.
Dresses off more.
Yeah, those are the Arthur outfits.
Yeah. Cops in GTA 4? Oh, okay. And Cops in GTA 5. What the? Iron Man? What the hell?
Cops in GTA 4 were notoriously kind of not very threatening. And then in GTA 5, they're very, very aggressive.
All right. Mark's doing the memes. Okay. What a fool you are. One copy of Skyrim? How can you only have one copy of Skyrim? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. How could you be so naive? There is no escape. No other game or mod can take its place. Come give me your money. It is not too late for another port. Thank you, Todd. Yes, Skyrim is everywhere, even your iPhone. Joe Crazy, holy shit, Whisp wasn't exaggerating. California should abolish parenthood in the name of equity. Okay, you can.
California is ever going to achieve true equity. The state must require parents to give away their children.
Well, you guys can Google that yourself.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Wii's go touch grass message.
That is the real end game.
Why not take a break? You can pause the game by pressing. What is that?
Plus.
Plus.
I don't tell you how to live your life. Yes, you need to pause when you're playing the Wii. It happens all the time. It doesn't matter what, whether it's the Wii or the Switch. It's always like a family thing. So Nintendo's great for that. If you're playing, you got family over, dinner's ready, or your little nephew just fell over or something. Okay, well I gotta go check him out. It's really convenient to pause the game. So Nintendo's good for that. All right, Cybar, how you doing? Wisp every time there is a left-leaning person. No. This is just Wisp in general. This has nothing to do with who we're covering.
Oh, that is mean of you.
No, that happens for fun. We get it.
Socialist. So, Wisp, we could be talking about anything. The literal cheese industry in Switzerland, you're like, sound pretty socialist to me. It's like, what do you want?
No, I haven't. No.
Social conspiracy.
Okay, should I now point out every time I don't think something socialist just to get a contrast?
No.
Yeah, because it's only like 20 seconds or something.
We're just women, yeah.
It's like, should I add sugar instead of salt? It's like, well, you're going to stop adding salt? It's like, well, no. Okay, well, yeah.
It's like we just talk about anything, and we're just like, I'm going to say the S word. You're like, oh, yeah.
Also, you should have used plural here.
Okay, I don't know why this who is this from? This is from Blue Bolt 990. It's a very dark meme, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it's dark.
Neil Druckmann, it's 4 p.m. Time to give me more fame, money, attention, and listen and believe everything I say while you make The Last of Us Part 2 influenced by me. Yes, my Queen Anita, start using everything you say to earn...
The Last of Us Part 1 was also influenced by Anita.
Oh. Well,
but thankfully, Neil Druckmann wasn't the lead writer on that. He only took credit for it.
Well.
Oh, what was influenced by her in that game?
The original plot was basically Lisa the Week, where only men were left, and Ellie was a single female.
Oh boy!
Oh god!
This is scary.
Mark. Well done, Mark.
Mark, how'd you do that?
He gave like a
Photoshop.
He gave like a GDQ talk on it, and he said, "I'm a guy who almost made a really sexist game."
Dude, that could be a T-shirt right there.
Let's make it into merchandise.
I love how. Yeah, I would do that. I love how. It's like he's a deer in headlights. He's just like, no. The thing is, if you take off Bob's face, it wouldn't fit. Like it would just droop onto Yahtzee's.
Oh, I should have used like a recent picture of Yahtzee because he did put on like a lot of pounds on himself.
No,
really like.
Oh,
it still wouldn't be close to.
He no longer looks like this a slim guy.
That's a lot of skin.
Are you ready for the movie Bob challenge?
Is that Cole eating because he's so miserable?
So long as he has the acting of Nick Cage.
Oh my god, he has the same beard and mustache.
Yeah, I know exactly. You cut
I
it.
would love
You
to
cut
see
it
that
perfectly.
movie. Yeah. Let's just take the faces off and just transfer it to the other person.
It's like face off.
Okay, what about the weight? Just...
Eric,
they gonna equalize. I can't take shoot.
Call of Duty World at War 2 announced. Zombies added.
Only if it's old
Yeah,
zombies.
it checks out.
Yeah.
People love zombies.
Hey, Call of
It-
Duty
it
Zombies
reminds
is
me of their
fucking good.
It is good because it's big. Holy Bible. Okay.
Yeah. But it's the King James version, so it's
Oh, that's-
I mean, there's some plot holes, but
it's been inspired by Watchmen.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, pre-order, early access, beta, first day release, 2 years of patches plus all DLCs at discount price. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's how we play our games these days.
We wait extra time.
Eric, last one. Me waiting 3 years to buy a $60 game for $15. See, this is called shopping. This is normal. Patience is necessary to reach
This is-
one's goal.
This is how men shop.
Yeah.
me waiting 15 years for a game that I can actually play on my shitty laptop.
Well, yeah, by then.
Look. At this point, with all these sales, we have so many games that we can pass the time until the big game gets down to $10.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun to cover. I actually enjoyed doing that because we all know the topic. We all love open world games. We all have something to say. I didn't go on to a rant about Fallout or New Vegas and why I play it every year and blah blah blah. So I think we did pretty well. Timing was 2 hours and a half almost. Not bad. Good job, guys. Wisp didn't go for a rant
Gotcha, yeah.
for too long.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, Wisp. Good for you. Not going crazy.
What was good? What?
Just you in general. You did well, Wisp. We're proud.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
But last time with Yahtzee,
Well, yeah,
it was just too much.
that was pretty bad. Yeah, I agree.
It was like, what the hell?
See, I don't mind Yahtzee not liking open world games. I'm totally fine. I just want to know his argument for them, and the argument was kind of flimsy. So it's like, all right, that's fair.
I mean,
My
it's
problem with
kind
these,
of the same
Yeah.
when he reviews a JRPG. You got to be careful because he fucking hates JRPGs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Conclusion
Just-
questions. Did he prove the point of his title?
No.
No.
No, he didn't.
no,
Who thinks his title was clickbait?
I just think he's an
I'm raising
idiot.
my
I
hand.
don't think it's
Everyone.
clickbait.
Honestly-
I think he genuinely believes I think he genuinely believes it.
Yeah, I think he believes this. He's Yahtzee. It's a Yahtzee video. It doesn't matter what the video is. People are going to watch it. And he's got almost 300,000 views. So
He's got brain dead fanboys now.
sure.
The very
always
things he
did.
makes fun of
He
in
always
his
did.
videos with the little goblins and the fans.
He
But
needs,
yeah, he's always had people who's followed him and basically been like, Yahtzee can never say anything wrong about a game. Everything he says is right.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
listened to his
always
video,
retarded
and one of
fanboy.
this game that I loved, I found out was actually really bad.
Right, and I don't
that's
mind.
retarded fanboys for everyone, for any game. You've seen them in Blizzard forums. You've seen them in BioWare forums. These kinds of people are everywhere.
Yeah, I don't mind a video game critic being critical of a genre or a style because it allows us to analyze along with them what they see as a problem. The problem is the argument quality is not there for us to say, well, that's not relevant to just that genre, or this example is totally fine. So he was trying to be his normal jovial self, but he was just kind of dropping the ball arguing, which is not what we want from Yahtzee. We want Yahtzee to be fast and clever and quick, the same way ER is. And
well, in those videos, what he does for Zero Punctuation, he pretty much does it as a satire.
Yeah.
It's just a joke, but when he has this low tone, it just feels like he's stating everything as an objective fact.
Yeah.
That he researched it.
Yahtzee's videos used to be a video where he can make basically any game sound like the worst game ever made.
well,
Yeah.
when he was critiquing Mass Effect, because I remember he talked about it was like throwing a book around the room because there's so much dialogue, and you're like, yeah, that's technically true. Yeah, you're going from person to person, then there's this huge dialogue spiel, and then you go to another person, and it just keeps going. So that little analogy is like, yeah, it's fair. I like that. But he likes story games. He likes those story-based games. So for him to argue this and say, oh, the game's too big, it's like, you know what? But is the story also too big? Because as we saw with BioWare, where they had Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, there's 122,000 lines of dialogue or whatever. It's like, yeah, he would approve of that because there's more content of the thing he likes, which is story. So if you're going to have bigger environments, you're going to have bigger stories. You're going to have more characters, more side quests, more stuff, which is hopefully what open world games in the future are going to be about. They're not just going to be about in a big city, jacking your cyber brain into the Matrix and doing kung fu. There's going to be some reason behind and some drama and some characters to care about. And I hope that's what he was getting at as saying scale and size does not make a better open world game. So I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, he did kind of join the whole like Kotaku reviewers with saying SMT5 is bad because it's not Persona.
Oh really? Oh wow.
I'm just going to say, Joseph Blackmore in the chat was telling me about my points. Like, I'm just saying that Yahtzee's old and he doesn't get stuff. No, I'm just saying he's getting old and cynical, and he's starting to not like things because he's just being ground down by what he does.
I'd say Yahtzee's always been cynical, but
for sure.
he used to put that cynicism towards something
productive. Something productive. But I just feel it's not the fact that, like, I feel Hawk's points are booking down to you don't get it, so he must just be old and out of touch, and things he likes are gone, he should accept it. No, I've not said that the things he likes are gone, should accept it. I think he's burnt out. I'm just saying, he's burnt out and cynical, and I'm just saying if he's done this for 15 years, he's getting old. You get cynical and you get older, but he's just really cynical about everything.
It used to be a character. Now he's just genuinely burnt out and bitter.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like he really is the old man shouting at people to get off his lawn at this point, and it's really noticeable about it. And it's just like, man, just seriously. This is why I said he should go out and like take a break from some of his stuff.
Well, that's a good idea. Everyone should take a break.
I think another good idea would be to do something different. Actually cover a game you like and give reasons why it's good.
Mm-hmm. Or just leave it behind. Move on with your life.
There we go. Well, we're going to do that right now because we got to have some scotch and go to bed. So, everyone, have yourself a great evening. Thanks for paying all this time and attention to us. We'll talk to you real soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.